Chapter 234. Just as Xiao Han was about to drain all of his demonic energy and use the illusory movement to try and escape, a sudden change occurred. The calm demon egg finally sensed the demonic aura. Although the demonic aura was very weak, causing the spinning speed of the demon egg to be as slow as a snail, it was undoubtedly demonic aura. The green dragon demon emperor has appeared? Xiao Han immediately restrained his desire to escape. He wanted to stay. The appearance of the green dragon demon emperor made the already chaotic situation even more chaotic. Once Li Fanming and the others saw through the true identity of the green dragon demon emperor, a battle would be inevitable. The green dragon demon emperor was not a pushover. He was even more evil and terrifying than the Qinglin demon emperor at his peak. If a battle really broke out, the situation would be out of control, and no one would have the time to suppress Xiao Han. That way Xiao Han could take advantage of the chaos and fish in troubled waters. Xiao Han exhaled, suppressed the restlessness in his heart, and looked in the direction of the voice. Then, everyone saw a middle-aged man striding into the hall with arrogance. Strangely, the middle-aged man was dressed like a Confucian scholar, looking very ancient and elegant. His body was covered in holy light, and his aura was very compatible with the heaven and earth. He was extremely handsome with red lips and white teeth. His eyebrows reached his temples, and there was a kind of compassion in his eyes. There was a vast wave of true qi on his body, but it did not seem threatening at all. Instead, it made people feel like they were bathing in a spring breeze. His eyes were all-encompassing and tolerant of all things. He was like a saint. Moreover, Xiao Han could see that his physical strength was very strong, even stronger than that of the Tsang King. Moreover, he was at least in the expanded acupoint realm. However, as he entered the hall, the demonic egg in Xiao Han's heart sensed the demonic aura more and more clearly. However, Xiao Han did not dare to open his demonic eye to look at the demonic meridian in the man's body for the time being. Xiao Han remained silent. He saw that Li Fanming's eyes were like torches as he stared unblinkingly at the Confucian scholar. Dense runes appeared in Li Fanming's eyes. However, after staring for a long time, Li Fanming's eyes flashed with an obvious hint of disappointment. Li Fanming can't tell that this man is a demon in disguise? Xiao Han was stunned. Even Li Fanming can't tell? Oh my god. Did this demon take some elixir to block demonic aura? It was actually so perfect? However, it still can't escape from this young master's demon egg. This Confucian scholar seemed to have a lot of prestige. As soon as he entered the hall, all the members of the royal family, ministers, generals and tribal chiefs respectfully greeted him. Crown Prince Tsang Yun, you're back. Crown Prince Tsang Yun walked closer to Xiao Han. He glanced at Xiao Han, but his eyes were filled with curiosity and doubt that were hard to describe. It was even to the extent that there was a wisp of faint greed and killing intent, but it vanished in a flash. Xiao Han lowered his head slightly. However, Crown Prince Tsang only took a glance at Xiao Han and did not look at him anymore. He brushed past Xiao Han and said loudly, "Royal father, your child has returned late. Oh, Tsang Yun's boy, these are the heroes? This is Li Fanming, a legendary figure on the Devilman ranking," King Tsang introduced with a smile. "Well, you've worked hard, fiend heroes. I heard that the demon race has appeared in our Heavenly Dragon Empire's imperial family. This is not a small matter. This crown prince has been unable to eat or sleep well. This crown prince has thoroughly investigated for a period of time, but to no avail. Perhaps this crown prince's ability to identify the demon race is too crude. Now, these devilmen have come to my Heavenly Dragon Empire from thousands of miles away to kill the demon race. This is really a great merit. Big Brother Li Fanming, a legendary figure, I've long heard of your name. With Big Brother Li Fanming's help, the demon race will have nowhere to hide." Tsang Yun's voice was very sincere. Divine light burst out from Li Fanming's eyes again. There was a jade talisman rolling in this light. It immediately enveloped Tsang Yun, making him look like he was bathed in a golden glow. "Li Fanming, what do you mean by this?" King Tsang said unhappily. Tsang Yun did not feel offended at all. Instead, he smiled faintly. Talisman Transformation Realm. This is the 7th level of True Qi Realm, the Talisman Transformation Realm. Turning True Qi into True Talisman. Admirable, admirable. Finally, Li Fanming withdrew his gaze completely and shook his head helplessly. "Crown Prince Tsang Yun, I'm sorry. I've always suspected that you're the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. It seems that my judgment has been wrong. Crown Prince Tsang Yun has a graceful demeanor. Is really admirable." "Ah. How could this Crown Prince be the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor?" Tsang Yun laughed involuntarily. "But it doesn't matter. This crown prince is also very appreciative of the devilman's conscientious attitude. This Tsang Yun looked natural and dignified, gentle and elegant. His whole body was full of awe-inspiring righteousness. There was absolutely no trace of demonic chi in his body. However, Xiaohan was clear in his heart. He was a demon race. If he wasn't a demon race, then what was he? His acting was too good. The demonic chi was too perfect. It was simply watertight. Even a super devil man like Li Fanming, a legendary figure, couldn't see through it. In a split second, Xiaohan slightly opened the demon eye between his eyebrows. The demonic light flashed gently. Xiaohan saw a shocking scene. Inside Tsang Yun's body, there was a dense fog. It was hazy and covered with clouds. However, under the layers of fog, something horrifying was revealed. There were numerous demon veins. There was also a huge demon emperor crystal. Each of the demon veins in Tsang Yun's body was pure and flawless. They were flowing with the purest demonic chi. There were a total of 99,990 demon veins. The demon emperor crystal was twice the size of Qing Lin's demon emperor crystal. It was amber in color, beautiful beyond compare, flawless and without any impurities. It was like the most gorgeous gem in the world. Within the amber-colored demon emperor crystal was sealed a ferocious, evil and murderous azure dragon. Every scale of the azure dragon was covered with demonic and evil demonic runes. There seemed to be countless demons praying and chanting. Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. As expected, the real Crown Prince Tsang Yun's brain had been sucked dry. He couldn't be more dead. The one who was standing in front of everyone and acting was the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor who was wearing the human skin of Crown Prince Tsang Yun. Before this, many devilmen had died in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. They died in the hands of this Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Moreover, awakening 99,990 demon veins meant that he was only one step away from mutation. Qin Shifeng once said that because of the demon bloodline, ordinary demon emperors couldn't break through 100,000 demon veins. However, once they broke through, they would reach the sky in one step and start to mutate. Every mutated demon emperor was equal to a catastrophe for human beings. The lives of many heroes had to be sacrificed in order to eliminate them. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is only 10 demonic veins away from mutating. Xiaohan's back was drenched in cold sweat. Once the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor mutated, even Li Fanming might not be able to destroy it, right? The Azure Dragon Demon Monarch seemed to have sensed that Xiaohan was spying on him. He turned around with a sharp light flickering in his eyes. He then said softly, "Father, please don't kill." "No. Tsang Yun, this kid is Xiaohan, the real culprit who killed your brother Tsang Long. Tsang Yun, you know very well what kind of bloodline and aptitude your brother Tsang Long has. Our Tsang family has a rare divine talent. He was the most outstanding person in the world. How could he die in the hands of such a lowly person? If your brother Tsang Long didn't die, he would have become a devil man who cultivated both martial arts and true immortal dual cultivation. Many years later, he would become a powerful figure on the devil man ranking. However, it was all ruined by Xiaohan. This person must die. Burn his bones and scatter his ashes." Tsang Yun bellowed indignantly, his hatred filling the sky. Even if he used all the water in the 5 lakes and 4 seas, he couldn't wash it away. He must kill Xiaohan. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor said anxiously with a compassionate look in his eyes. "Father, you can't. You can't. Brother's death actually didn't have much to do with this little friend Xiaohan. This is the Devilman Selection Competition. It's known as the cruelest and most ruthless selection. The winner takes all. Xiaohan didn't break the rules. He is stronger than my brother Tsang Long. When 2 tigers fight, one of them will definitely be injured. Besides, father, if you kill Xiaohan rashly, it's tantamount to provoking the Devilman Pagoda. This will lead to the destruction of our Heavenly Dragon Empire. The power of the Devilman Pagoda is unimaginable. Those ancient giants are suspected to have become immortals. Any one of them can destroy our empire with a single thought. Father, please reconsider." The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was stunned. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor looked at Li Fanming. "Devilman Li Fanming, please advise my father. Don't let him get ahead of himself and cause trouble for his entire life." At this moment, Li Fanming was a little disheartened. He shook his hand. "Forget it. He's just a rookie who has just become a devilman. His true chi cultivation is a mess. The higher-ups may not pay much attention to him. There are many geniuses in this world. Every year there will be countless geniuses emerging. This Xiaohan, you can do whatever you want with him, I don't care anymore." With that, Li Fanming had a thoughtful expression on his face as he quietly retreated to the side. No. Xiao Han must be killed. Otherwise, our Heavenly Dragon Empire will lose its reputation. He's just a rookie. I don't believe that the Devilman Pagoda will declare war on our Heavenly Dragon Empire because of him. Our Heavenly Dragon Empire raises pure-blooded Swanee and pure-blooded Heavenly Dragons. Even if there are 3 to 5 ancient giants on the Devilman ranking, we won't be afraid. Song Yun, you don't have to say any more. I've made up my mind to kill him. Father. You can't. Otherwise, please let me deal with Xiao Han. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor said anxiously. Xiao Han's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. Let you deal with him? Damn it. You want to eat me like that Qing Lin Demon Emperor? No. Song Yun, you are too kind and soft-hearted. If I let you deal with this bastard, you might release him secretly after locking him up for a few days. I can't let you deal with him. Song refused decisively. Damn it, they are actually discussing how to deal with me? Fine, I will remember everything that happened today. Song Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, Li Fanming Yu Ming Zhou Chuan Nye Saner. You bunch of trash, I will not let any of you off in the future. However, your father's influence is weak now, so I'll make a quick escape and leave first. Xiao Han thought quickly. He was ready to drain all his demonic energy and escape with his illusionary movement. Looking at the current situation, even if Xiao Han shouted that Crown Prince Song Yun was the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, no one would believe him. Of course, the demonic energy contained in the 120 demonic veins was like an illusion. It was hard to say whether he could successfully escape from this group of experts. At this moment, a barbarian touched the corner of his oily lips, let out a drunken burp and stood up to say, Your Majesty, Crown Prince, please don't argue. I have an idea. The barbarian was fat and had triangular eyes. He looked like a pervert with a belly full of evil tricks. Oh? Mayo, what idea do you have? You've always been resourceful and resourceful. Your idea must be pretty good. Tell me quickly. Song Yun said sternly. Yes. Akmeo nodded and said slowly. This person killed the genius of our country, Crown Prince Song Yun. We can't let him go just like that. However, Crown Prince Song Yun's worry was not without reason. How about this? Let's use the most ancient method of our Heavenly Dragon Empire. Let him fight with the warriors of our country. If he could win, then he would be able to live. If he loses, let him be punished by the totem. Accept punishment from the totem? Xiao Han's heart skipped a beat. Xiao Han blurted out. What does that mean? It means to throw you to feed the pure-blood Swanee and pure-blood Sky Dragon. Ah, don't you feel honored? Akmeo laughed evilly. Listen, this is very fair for you. Your life is in your own hands. If you defeat my country's brave warriors, you can directly obtain the right to live. Even if you lose when facing pure-blooded Swanee and pure-blooded Sky Dragon, they might not eat you. This is not for certain, right? Throw me into the sealed building where the pure-blood Swanee and pure-blood Sky Dragon are kept. Xiao Han's eyes widened. He was ecstatic. Ah, this brat is scared. Ah, he's scared. Ah, wrestling, 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 wrestling. Tens of thousands of barbarians who had eaten and drunk their fill in the entire Swanee Palace started shouting. Isn't my luck a little too good? Xiao Han was puzzled. Although I might not be able to refine the pure-blood Swanee and pure-blood Sky Dragon, I can at least give it a try. Once I refine them, my strength will increase by leaps and bounds. Wealth comes from danger. If I don't risk my life, how can I change in such a short period of time? Even if the barbarians didn't think of this dirty trick, I would still think of a way to enter the building. I really didn't expect that I would get a pillow when I was sleepy. To me, Xiao Han, this is no less than a great fortuitous encounter. Chapter 235. Xiao Han was in a precarious situation. He was coveted by the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. King Tsang's hatred, monster hero Li Fanming and the others fanned the flames. When Xiao Han's life was at stake, an important minister of the Heavenly Dragon Empire proposed to let Xiao Han participate in the ancient gladiator ceremony of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. Once he was defeated, he would be thrown into the building that was used to raise pure-blooded Swan and I and pure-blooded Sky Dragon. This was a cruel ceremony passed down from ancient times in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. There was no way for the loser to survive. Over the years, hundreds of thousands of losers were buried in that terrible building. Good. King Tsang's aura soared. His eyes flashed as he stared at Xiao Han. Then, Xiao Han, I have already thought about this matter. Although the death of my son, Song Long, is related to you, I can't put all the blame on you. If I want to execute you directly, you will definitely not accept it. Moreover, the Monster Hero Tower may also pursue this matter. How about this, Xiao Han? You participate in the gladiator fight. As long as you can win, I swear that I will never pursue the matter of you murdering my son, Song Long. All the grievances will be written off. While speaking, King Tsang's eyes were filled with the smell of conspiracy. Obviously, this gladiator fight was not going to let Xiao Han win. Oh. Xiao Han looked at King Tsang. Xiao Han. You have no other choice. There is no way out. Do you know that? King Tsang threatened in a stern voice. Inside the Swan and Eye Palace, tens of thousands of barbarians with surging blood qi seized the opportunity and surrounded Xiao Han. They formed an impenetrable wall, which made it impossible for Xiao Han to escape. It seems that I really have no other choice. Xiao Han deliberately put on an expression of a hero at the end of his road. Yu Ming and the other monster heroes sneered at the side. Their eyes were full of sarcasm. This Xiao Han was really awe-inspiring and heroic in the Hex Hero trial. He killed whoever he wanted and destroyed whoever he wanted. He wantonly crushed the rules of the competition and even caused the death of the geniuses from the Hex Hero region. He probably thought that after he became a monster hero, he would also be able to destroy everything. He was always successful, but now... this kind of despicable nouveau riche deserves to end up like this. The monster hero Zhou Chuan sneered. This person killed Zhang Sun Wuhan, the top genius in the East region in the Hex Hero trials. Zhang Sun Wuhan is a distant relative of mine. Devilish hero Nye Sainer sneered. Li Fanming's face was filled with melancholy as he said indifferently. This Xiao Han is just an insignificant person. If he dies, then so be it. He's just a tiny wave in the ocean. However, it seems like we're destined to return empty-handed after coming all the way here to kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Big brother Fan Ming, do you mean that there's a flaw in the information provided by the Yaoxia Pagoda? The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor isn't hiding in the Heavenly Dragon Empire's royal family? Yu Ming asked with a frown. No. I've carefully examined all the people on the scene. He didn't find any traces, not even the slightest bit of demonic aura. With my Talisman Transformation Realm Cultivation base, it's absolutely safe to use vital energy to read demonic qi. Even if the demon race has consumed a precious medicine that shields demonic qi, it's impossible to escape my detection. I can't fail. The only explanation was that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was not in the royal family of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. We will leave the Heavenly Dragon Empire's Imperial Palace tomorrow and look around. Li Fanming shook his head helplessly. And at this moment, Xiao Han. You're also a man, right? Don't be hesitant. King Tsang roared impatiently. All right. If you want to fight, let's fight. Xiao Han had a tragic look on his face. He was completely unafraid of death. Who are the brave warriors of the Heavenly Dragon Empire? Come at me. Even if I, Xiao Han, die, I will drag a few of you down with me. Yes. Xiao Han, you agreed to fight voluntarily, I didn't force you. Demon hero Li Fanming, you can be the witness for this matter so that no one will find trouble with me in the future. King Tsang finally laughed heartily as if he was going to take revenge. No problem. I can testify for this matter. Xiao Han is brave and fierce. He willingly accepted the ancient gladiatorial ceremony of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. Li Fanming was also happy to do a favor for him. We can all testify. Yu Ming and the other demon heroes echoed. Xiao Han looked at Li Fanming, Yu Ming and the others indifferently. His heart was filled with killing intent. Xiao Han, my little friend. No. You can't accept the gladiatorial ceremony. Green Dragon Demonic Emperor looked anxious, as if he was very compassionate. However, deep in his eyes, there was a deep sense of regret, as if he felt that it was a waste of God's gift. Xiao Han, let me deal with you. Green Dragon Demonic Emperor blurted out. Let you kill me? Dig out my heart and eat it? Xiao Han sneered in his heart. I have seen through your disguise long ago. You can fool others, but you can't fool me. All right. Crown Prince Tsang Yun, you are a man of great righteousness and righteousness. Thank you for interceding for me. However, although I'm alone, I still have some tough bones. If you want to fight, let's fight. Moreover, I am not sure that I will lose. There is always a slim chance of survival. Xiao Han said generously. What slim chance? The ancient gladiatorial ceremony of the Heavenly Dragon Empire is 1 against 100. Xiao Han, do you think it is a one-on-one fight? Absolutely not. Once you agree to fight, you will have to face 100 of our strongest warriors. You will definitely die. Green Dragon Demonic Emperor said bitterly. Xiao Han was stunned. A burst of laughter could be heard from all directions. Ah, my son Song Yun, step back. Since Xiao Han has already agreed to the fight, then we should respect his decision. He is a hero and he values his reputation and reputation the most. He wouldn't be willing to break his promise. Xiao Han, that's right. According to the rules set by the ancestors of our clan, every clansman who participates in the battle will have to fight against one warrior of our clan. Xiao Han, you are very brave. Maybe you can defeat 10 warriors of our clan? Ah. But throughout history, it seems that no outsider has ever won against us. Yes, your majesty. I remember that the outsider with the best result killed 11 warriors of our clan. He was torn into pieces and his body was eaten by the other warriors on the spot. Akmeo, who was full of evil tricks, said with a sinister smile. He looked like he was asking for credit. How despicable. Xiao Han pretended to be indignant. He paused for a while and said, since it has come to this, I, Xiao Han, have to fight. Good. Akmeo, go and prepare for the gladiatorial ceremony immediately. King Tsang ordered Akmeo excitedly. Then King Tsang looked at Xiao Han coldly as if he was looking at a dead man, a corpse. In the Bai and palace, tens of thousands of barbarians surrounded Xiao Han and brought him out of the palace. King Tsang accompanied Li Fanming and the other heroes out of the palace. Crown Prince Tsang Yun, who was also the Green Dragon Demonic Emperor, stayed behind. His eyes suddenly flashed with a vicious demonic light. He snorted coldly and immediately followed King Tsang Yun out. In the ancient gladiatorial arena in the palace. In the oval-shaped gladiatorial arena. There were already tens of thousands of barbarians sitting on the ring-shaped stands. Xiao Han was thrown onto the gladiatorial arena. Clang, 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 clang. The 4 iron gates opened one after another. Waves of primitive and violent aura burst out from every iron gate. In an instant, the entire gladiatorial arena was filled with whirlpools and the wind and clouds were rolling. Countless ferocious beast-like eyes shone in the dark night with cruelty and bloodlust. Boom. From one of the iron gates, an imposing barbarian walked out. He was 3 meters tall, bare-chested, and the muscles on his body rolled like a horned dragon. He looked ferocious and terrifying. He opened his mouth slightly and let out a roar, which had the power to devour mountains and rivers. When he stepped on the ground, it was like an earthquake. In his eyes, there were shadows of ancient ferocious beasts appearing and disappearing. This person has the strength of about 3 million cauldrons, but he doesn't cultivate true qi. Xiao Han evaluated immediately. Next, barbarians walked out from the iron gates in all directions. Each of them was like a towering mountain, and they gave off an invulnerable feeling. 100 barbarians surrounded Xiao Han. Among these 100 barbarians, about half of them cultivated true qi and cultivated both their bodies and bodies. Among them there were a few who were at the expanding acupoint realm. However, the quality of their true qi was not as good as Yu Ming and the other heroes. Among them, there were some barbarians who seemed to have a special bloodline. There were actually lightning, flame, aurora, and other kinds of energy surging in their eyes. It seemed that these people were gifted and could communicate with the lightning world, flame world, and aurora world. It was no small matter. There are 100 powerful barbarians. Even if I am at my peak with the 4 demon veins in my left arm, demon sovereign's palm filled with demonic energy, it would still be difficult to kill all of them. Even if I used the world-extinguishing demon saber, it would still be impossible to kill all of them. The most optimistic outcome would be to forcefully kill a small portion of them, and then be surrounded and killed by them. Xiao Han was also clear about the current situation. Forget it. There is no need to waste my energy here. Let's conserve our strength and enter the place where the pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded Swanee are kept and obtain fortuitous encounters. Once I succeed, I will come out and kill all of these bastards. What Demon Emperor, Azure Dragon, King Tsang, Yu Ming, Li Fanming, all of them must die. Xiao Han thought quickly. At the next moment, I didn't expect that I, Xiao Han, who has just become a demon hero, will die here. Suddenly Xiao Han let out a long and sorrowful roar. His aura was like a dragon and his voice spread far and wide. 1 against 100. I will definitely lose. Forget it, forget it. Why do I have to humiliate myself? Instead of dying in the hands of these barbarians, I would rather die in the mouths of the pure-blooded Swanee and pure-blooded Sky Dragon. I, Xiao Han, admit defeat in this battle. Hua! The surrounding spectator stands were filled with mockery and laughter. Good. Killing him in this arena will also give us a reason to talk about it. There might be trouble in the future if we kill him. Since he has admitted defeat, we should quickly send him to the place where the totem rests. Feed him directly to our pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded Swanni. King Tsang suddenly stood up, looked at the night sky and said with a trembling voice, "My son King Tsang, my father has already avenged you. Open your eyes and see. This Xiaohan is really a coward. He doesn't even have a bit of backbone." He directly admitted defeat without even fighting. Yu Ming sneered. "Ah. Yu Ming, you can't say that Xiaohan is weak. Even if the few of us join forces, we will certainly not be able to fight against the warriors of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, unless Big Brother Li Fanming, who is a talisman transformation realm expert, takes action. Even if Xiaohan accepts the challenge, he will still die tragically. It is better to just admit defeat." That demon hero Zhou Chuan shook his head and laughed. Xiaohan was immediately escorted to the place where the pure-blooded Swanni and pure-blooded Sky Dragon were kept. "Oh, I wonder if I can fulfill my wish and refine the two most precious pure-blooded giant beasts of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. I hope the heavens can protect me, Xiaohan." In Xiaohan's heart he was excited, expectant and a little nervous. Chapter 236. Xiaohan was escorted to the resting place of the totem by the barbarians of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. It was where the greatest glory and pride of the race was kept. Pure-blooded Tao Wu and pure-blooded Heavenly Dragon were kept. The troop escorting Xiaohan was so majestic that the entire imperial city was celebrating. King Tsangyun was riding a huge tiger. He was galloping on the street in high spirits. He was in an indescribable high spirit. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor accompanied the king of Tsangyun with a gloomy expression. "My son, Tsangyun, in the next few days, Li Fanming is going to search for the whereabouts of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor in our country. You can help them," said the king of Tsangyun Kingdom. "Yes, father." The Green Dragon Demon Emperor nodded slightly and an undetectable demonic light flashed in his eyes. "There's no need to trouble Crown Prince Tsangyun," said Li Fanming with a faint smile. Finally, after going around a long street, Xiaohan was escorted to the sealed building in the imperial city. It was thousands of feet tall and covered an area of dozens of miles. Roar, roar, waves of muffled and violent howls resounded from within the buildings. They pierced through metal and cracked stone, shook the air in the surroundings to the point it became soft and brittle, and the origin energy in the surroundings was destroyed. Even though the aura of this powerful being had been obstructed by the layers of buildings, it still possessed an epic and mythical deterring force, causing this world to seem as if it was about to be destroyed. "Your Majesty." The barbarian soldiers stationed there knelt on one knee and greeted. The reason why the Heavenly Dragon Empire can dominate the vast wilderness and no one dares to invade it is because they have pure-blooded ferocious beasts. Even with Li Fanming's ability, he felt a little restrained in front of the building. If it's really a pure-blooded Tao Wu and Heavenly Dragon, it would be difficult for them to fight against it. They might even be killed in seconds. However, a true pure-blooded primordial remnant is unlikely to appear on the surface. It's unlikely for them to appear on the surface of the vast wilderness. "Brother Li Fanming, do you mean that the Tao Wu and Heavenly Dragon raised by the Heavenly Dragon Empire aren't truly pure-blooded?" Yu Ming was slightly stunned. "They're still somewhat pure and their bloodline is still noble. Although they're not as heaven-defying as their ancestors in the primordial era, they're still powerful. It cannot be subdued or killed," Li Fanming said with a faint smile. "No matter what, Xiaohan is definitely going to die this time. There's no way he'll be able to escape. A hero with a bright future has died just like that." Nyesan smiled coldly. His eyes were filled with satisfaction. "This? I'm about to go in and drink with Brother Bai N and Brother Sky Dragon. I hope those two won't be too violent." Xiaohan licked his lips. "All right, Xiaohan, you go. I wish you good luck." King Tsangyun waved his hand and ordered the barbarian soldiers to throw Xiaohan into the building. Clang, clang, clang. Dozens of barbarian soldiers. Each of them held a key in their hands and opened dozens of iron doors. Then with lightning speed he threw Xiaohan in. Finally, he locked all the iron doors as if he was facing a great enemy. Ho, ho, excited and bloodthirsty howls immediately rang out from within the building. Then, the people outside could vaguely hear Xiaohan's screams. Ha 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 ha. King Tsangyun looked up to the sky and laughed. "Burn incense. Comfort the soul of my son, Blue Dragon in heaven. My son, you've been a hero for a lifetime. I can't believe you died in the hands of a scoundrel. However, I've avenged you today." Awesome, awesome. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's eyelids twitched a few times, and his eyes were filled with disappointment. However, he soon calmed down and sighed. Father, Demon Hero Li Fanming, I'll take my leave. So, why did you do this? After saying that, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor left dejectedly. My eldest son is too pedantic and soft-hearted. King Tsang-yun looked at the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's back and shook his head slightly. Crown Prince Tsang-yun is kind and virtuous. You'll definitely have a great opportunity in the future. Li Fanming smiled. He then bid farewell. Forget it, King Tsang-yun, I've troubled you this time. I'll leave the Imperial City immediately and look for him in other places. If the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is really not in the Heavenly Dragon Empire, I'll leave the Great Wilderness and return to the Yaoxia Pagoda to inform the higher-ups of the Yaoxia Pagoda so that they can completely correct the loopholes in the information so that no more Yaoxia will come to the Heavenly Dragon Empire to cause trouble. In a tribe near the Imperial City of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. The tribe was a vassal of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. It was a nomadic tribe that lived by water and grass. The land was fertile and the herdsmen planted a large number of fragrant fruits. In the depths of the dense forest of Hami melons, Crown Prince Tsang-yun stood with his hands behind his back. It's the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. In the depths of the forest of Hami melons, there was a cluster of black fruits. There was a dense demonic aura, and the air in all directions seemed to be flowing with demonic sounds. Black fruits were condensed on the branches of the trees. The black fruits were extremely evil. They were the size of an apple and there were densely packed demonic characters on their skin. It seemed that there was an extremely evil demon sealed in each fruit. Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruit. The sacred treasure of the demon race. Only high-level demons were qualified to plant them. The Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruit could not only replenish demonic power in a short period of time, but it could also awaken demonic meridians. More terrifyingly, it could give high-level demon emperors the opportunity to mutate. That young man Xiao Han clearly has a scent that attracts me. If I eat him, there might be a possibility of mutation. Unfortunately, that idiot Tsang-yun killed Xiao Han forcefully. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's tone was extremely demonic and terrifying. However, I'm at a critical moment now. I'm only 10 demonic meridians away from successfully mutating and ascending to the heavens. At this time, I really can't afford to make any mistakes. In addition, that group of damned Yaoxia is causing trouble again. There's a talisman transformation realm among them, and it's very difficult to deal with them. Hence, I dare not act rashly. Alright, when this Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruit Forest is completely ripe, I'll start to attack the last 10 demonic meridians. Once I succeed in mutating, the Heavenly Dragon Empire will become my kingdom of demons. It will become this Emperor's kingdom of demons. Totem Habitat. In the building that was hundreds of feet tall, Xiao Han's body was surging with starlight. The power of his flesh shell was condensed. He walked carefully. The ground was filled with bones that were piled up like a mountain. There were human corpses and a large number of beast skeletons. Some of the beast skeletons were hundreds of feet long. Their flesh and skin had been eaten clean, leaving only empty skeletons. A fierce ancient aura spread in all directions. A foul wind blew. Evil aura filled the sky. It made Xiao Han feel as if he was walking in Azura hell. Moreover, echoes could be heard from all directions as he took a step forward. At this moment, Xiao Han felt a great sense of danger as if a dagger was stabbing into his back. He raised his head slightly and saw a huge creature that was emitting golden divine radiance. It was entrenched on a stone mountain in the building. It was hundreds of feet tall and looked like a divine lion. There was a golden dragon horn on its head that was extremely bright and dazzling. Its fur looked like it was made of gold and was shining brightly. It emitted a brilliant golden glow. It almost lit up the entire building, causing everything to be visible. In its eyes, there was a scene of mountains collapsing and the earth cracking. When it slightly opened its eyes, a divine light would burst out. Ancient runes would appear and disappear, scarlet clouds and gray mist would churn, and clouds would move in all directions. It was extremely intimidating. What a powerful and terrifying creature this was. It seemed to possess a high level of intelligence as it looked at the tiny Xiao Han with great interest. It didn't immediately pounce on him. Damn it, what a powerful aura. Is this a pure-blooded beast? It truly lives up to its reputation. It's not weaker than the talisman transformation realm demon hero Li Fanming. Moreover, I can't estimate its strength. It's too majestic. In front of me, it's as if I'm facing a legend from the ancient times. Xiao Han was somewhat cowering. However, things had already come to this. He could not retreat at all. His hands silently formed a seal and he was about to stake everything on one throw and unleash the 10,000 beast-devouring formation. He was going to make a crazy gamble. Roar! At the same time, a dragon's might was suppressed from above the building. Then Xiaohan raised his head slightly and saw a dragon. This was not a hornless dragon, nor a flood dragon or a horned dragon. It was a real heavenly dragon. The dragon's might was extremely pure. The dragon's scales emitted infinite radiance. The dragon's eyes were as big as a water tank. There was a kind of ancient and deep luster in the pupils. Its body moved casually and it emitted a supreme dragon's might that could not be profaned by the world. Halos of light were emitted from the dragon's body, illuminating the world and making it the supreme ruler. A pure-blooded heavenly dragon. A pure-blooded heavenly dragon that could rival a pure-blooded swan and I. The heavenly dragon empire had raised and inherited it for countless years. It was a divine beast that was used to suppress the fate of the empire. Motherf ****. If it wasn't for the fact that my flesh shell is strong, my chi and blood are vigorous, and I have the support of the indestructible golden body, I'm afraid that I would have been turned into a mist of blood just by facing these two big guys. It's too dangerous. Xiaohan was speechless. His blood had somewhat solidified. His entire body's essence, chi and spirit were highly concentrated and taut. His life's potential was greatly stimulated. At this moment, Xiaohan's soul was transparent, flawless and without any impurities. Brr, brr. Finally, after a period of observation, the pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded Swanee roared excitedly at Xiaohan. It was as if they knew that Xiaohan's blood chi was different from ordinary people. It would definitely be delicious and nourishing. This pure-blooded swan and pure-blooded heavenly dragon. I, Xiaohan, passed by the heavenly dragon empire today and fell into the enemy's hands. Unfortunately, my battle prowess is inferior to the enemy's, and I am besieged on all sides. It is difficult for me to break out of the encirclement. Both of you are pure-blooded ancient giant beast. Why don't you fuse your genes into my body so that I can inherit your strength? Xiaohan's words seemed to be understood by the pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded Swanee. They were enraged as if they could feel the provocation and covetousness of a tiny creature like Xiaohan. The next moment, boom, boom. The pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded Swanee pounced towards Xiaohan at the same time. Flying sand and stones. The ground cracked. Beams of light blasted everywhere. Space collapsed inch by inch. Damn it. Desperate. Whether I live or die, it all depends on this. Xiaohan's body shone brightly, and the bone scriptures were intertwining. He was bold and courageous. A man with nothing to lose was not afraid of a man with shoes. He was willing to be cut into pieces and drag the emperor down from his horse. 2,000 beast-devouring grand formations that had been brewing for a long time were launched at the same time. The faint immortal chi was faintly discernible, and the immortal rhythm was simple and unadorned. Almost at the same time, they covered the pure-blooded swan and pure-blooded sky dragon. To be continued. Chapter 237. In the heavenly dragon empire's imperial city's totem dwelling, Xiaohan faced the pure-blooded swan and pure-blooded heavenly dragon, his life hanging by a thread. He staked everything on one throw and took the risk out of desperation. He wanted to forcefully refine these two archaic descendants and temper his body to its peak state. The two archaic descendants had tyrannical auras that soared into the heavens. They were as austere as winter. With just a slight breath, those with weak auras would inevitably turn to ashes. Just as the pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded Swanee pounced towards Xiaohan, Xiaohan had already prepared two 10,000 beast-devouring arrays. Shroud these two primordial species. Ho! Ho! The pure-blooded heavenly dragon and pure-blooded Swanee let out soul-shaking howls. Light erupted from their bodies. In an instant, all of the vitality in the building withered and vanished. Heaven and earth yuan chi became chaotic, light twisted, and air collapsed. The space around them shattered and mushroom clouds exploded everywhere. These two colossal creatures desperately wanted to break free, but they were tightly bound by the two formations. Immortal runes were moving, destroying all living creatures. Faint immortal sounds were emitted, suppressing all beasts. Hey! Xiaohan was almost sent flying by the shockwave, but he was now in a horse stance, his body still and unmoving. His indestructible golden body had been pushed to the extreme, and he was like a lone boat in the middle of a raging storm. It was as if the boat could be destroyed at any moment and he could die. But he was very tenacious and he did not overturn at all, hovering between life and death. Hold on. These two big guys are fighting for their lives, but sooner or later I will refine them into dregs. Xiao Han's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. An hour later. Ho! The surface of the pure-blooded Swanee and pure-blooded Sky Dragon began to ripple. Their howls changed from fierce and furious to manic and terrified. The next moment, Shio, from the pure-blooded Swanee's body, a ray of golden light that shone like a star appeared. It shot towards Xiao Han in an instant. From the pure-blooded Sky Dragon's body, a ray of light that could illuminate all things shot towards Xiao Han. Oh! The golden light and the light shot into Xiao Han's body at the same time. Suddenly, two extremely powerful and heaven-defying life forces appeared. In an instant, it exploded in Xiao Han's flesh shell. These two waves of vitality were too powerful, and there was a clear ancient aura to them. They were ferocious like a raging torrent and a raging sea. Moreover, it was as if they were inflating a balloon, and Xiao Han's body immediately swelled up. Xiao Han suddenly floated up from the ground. His entire body felt like it had been thrown into a pot of boiling oil. Puchi. His entire body. His brain and even his soul shook violently. It was as if gunpowder had been ignited and suddenly exploded. This caused Xiao Han to feel as though he was about to be turned into minced meat. Unimaginable, indescribable pain. In an instant, it occupied every nerve, every muscle, every cell in Xiao Han's body. Ah! Xiao Han let out a heart-wrenching howl. His spirit had always been extremely resilient. It was almost impossible for him to be defeated by pain or even death. He could already remain calm and collected. Even if they were severely injured, they would not even frown or grunt. Even if they were cut into pieces, they would not admit defeat. But this kind of pain was unbearable for Xiao Han. It exceeded his limits, causing Xiao Han to let out a piercing shriek. Pooh! Xiao Han's 7 apertures suddenly burst out with blood. His clothes were shaken into pieces. Blood spurted out from his pores. At the same time, misty steam rose from Xiao Han's body. Golden light and auspicious qi rose. The clouds were steaming and the red clouds lingered. The clouds were indistinct. It hurts so much. It's like I'm being executed by 1,000 cuts and torn apart by 5 horses. It's too explosive. Too ferocious. I've never felt so much pain in my life. It's like I've walked through hell. Xiao Han gritted his teeth and roared in his heart. However, Shio, another ray of golden light and a ray of light were separated from the bodies of the two ancient species and shot towards Xiao Han. Bang! Xiao Han's body emitted a terrifying sound like gunpowder exploding a mountain. Qi waves surged like tides. Hurricanes rose in all directions. The air was chaotic. The rocks in the building were blown up and directly shattered into pieces. Pooh! A mouthful of blood shot out from Xiao Han's mouth. He had completely vomited 3 liters of blood. Ah! His physical body was about to disintegrate. His soul was also about to be torn apart and collapsed. Could it be that I, Xiao Han, am going to lose this time? Activating the 10,000 beast devouring art and absorbing the blood and genes of the pure blood mutated beasts, not only could it not refine my physical body and increase my strength, but it would also cause me to explode in an instant? Roar! I, Xiao Han, cannot die here. I, Xiao Han, have obtained a fortuitous encounter and cultivated an immortal technique. If I die so easily, wouldn't it be a waste of a heavenly treasure? It would be a waste of this great fortune. I cannot die. Xiao Han shouted in the depths of his heart. Boom! The hot flow of the indestructible golden body in his body began to wash and frantically repair and nourish the heavy injuries on Xiao Han's physical body. Xiao Han also immediately began to practice the first 70 movements of the indestructible golden body. I am as calm and unmoving as the earth. I will endure all the pain and sufferings. Come on. In front of the inhuman pain, Xiao Han's life potential was also stimulated to the greatest extent. It allowed him to display an unprecedented endurance. His immortal willpower fiercely resisted the pain and suffering. Boom! Golden light and light suddenly spread out in all directions from Xiao Han's body. It was like the endless medicinal power of immortal pills and precious medicines. It flowed into every inch of Xiao Han's flesh, cells, organs, bones, and even into Xiao Han's soul. His body was nourished and strengthened. His flesh and blood were condensed and strengthened. His mind was stimulated and nurtured. The strength of his flesh and blood started to rise. It was as if there was no end to it. Shio! Another golden light and light slashed into Xiao Han's body. Pooh! Xiaohan's body exploded into a bloody mist as he spat out an arrow of blood. However, within this blood there seemed to be some impurities. It was as if there were wastes hidden deep within Xiaohan's body. Even the clotted blood and impurities on his genes and bones were forcefully blasted out. It was still a heart-wrenching pain. The situation was extremely dangerous. Xiaohan could be torn apart and die at any moment. Once Xiaohan was hit by the violent life force of the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon, not only would his body turn into powder and disappear from the world, his soul and consciousness would also be destroyed. However, Xiaohan used his powerful flesh and blood as his foundation. He used the indestructible golden body to protect his life. In addition to his perseverance, he forcefully suppressed the crazy pain. Ah. 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 Xiaohan continued to let out the blood-curdling screams of the cuckoos and blood-weeping apes. It was heartbreaking and heartbreaking. Outside the building, densely packed barbarian soldiers were guarding the place. Vaguely, the roars of the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon could be heard from the building. They could also hear Xiaohan's inhumane screams. It seems that the two pure-blooded beasts are ravaging that young Xiaohan. Just by listening to that young Xiaohan's screams, one could tell how terrible and terrifying the situation was. Too terrifying. If he was swallowed in 1 or 2 bites it would be fine. But to be tortured so piecemeal, it's too cruel, too cruel. A barbarian soldier's teeth were sore. He pricked up his ears to listen, then shook his head repeatedly. I guess he has been tortured to the point that he doesn't look human anymore. This Xiaohan killed our Tsang Dragon Crown Prince in the Hex Hero trial this time. Now, the torture and abuse he has suffered are retribution. This kind of person should die so quickly. It's not enough. We must torture him to death. Only then will it be satisfying and the king will be very happy. Another barbarian soldier said with a smile. Inside the building, under the operation of the 10,000 beast-devouring formation, the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon were broken down and refined inch by inch. They turned into golden light and shot into Xiaohan's body. Xiaohan fought with his life, crazily absorbing the blood and genes of the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon. Gradually, even the roars of the Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon were produced in Xiaohan's body. It was as if there were pure-blooded Swan Ni and pure-blooded Sky Dragon inside Xiaohan's body. Half a month later, 1/3 of the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon had been refined. The beast roars in Xiaohan's body became more and more tragic, louder and louder, almost resounding through the sky. Xiaohan's strength had increased from the original 2.4 million cauldron to 5.8 million cauldron. Xiaohan felt that the bones in his body had completely turned into a kind of golden color, and there were golden light and light floating around like the bones of a god. The muscles in his body could be hard or soft. They could be as soft as cotton, or as hard as star steel. His control of strength was almost perfect and he could do whatever he wanted. His body was full of explosive power with a slight movement, and his aura was chilling. A month later, the pure strength of Xiaohan's body had reached a terrifying 8 million cauldron. Now he could already easily refine and absorb the vitality of the Swan Ni and the Sky Dragon. His facial expression was no longer ferocious, and he looked carefree as if he had everything under control. Devouring and refining the genes of the giant beasts, the stronger his body strength was, the richer his capital was, and the easier it was. Now with the 8 million cauldron strength, it was easy for Xiaohan to absorb and refine the remaining life essence of the two ancient giant beasts. A month and a half later, the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon had been completely refined and absorbed by Xiaohan. Not a single dregs was left. As a result, Xiaohan's pure body strength had reached a shocking 12 million cauldron. Within Xiaohan's body, the roars of the Swan Ni and the Sky Dragon could be heard. They emitted a desolate and primitive aura that shook the soul and caused the world to change colors. Their roars contained the power to shatter mountains and rivers. It was as if these two primordial beasts had been transplanted into Xiaohan's body. I finally succeeded. Xiaohan have finally succeeded. At this moment, Xiaohan's eyes were unprecedentedly bright, like two resplendent stars. He exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, and the air current surged like a hurricane, blowing a large area of space into pieces and distorting light. 12 million cauldrons divine strength. Xiaohan slightly released his aura. With a boom, an unparalleled force rose from Xiaohan's body, causing the ground to tremble and crack. The gravel and sand on the ground were blown up, spinning at high speed in midair. The friction created sparks and fireworks. It was a marvelous sight. I suddenly have the illusion that I can pluck the stars and the moon. Xiao Han smiled faintly. At this moment, Xiao Han was like the reincarnation of an ancient pure-blooded giant beast. Just his aura alone could shock people to death. His aura swept across 3,000 Jianghu, the belly of the swan and I and the sky dragon, a thought that could overturn rivers and seas. I can be wild in the vast wilderness. Chapter 238. Xiao Han completely refined and absorbed the pure-blooded swan and I and the pure-blooded heavenly dragon, not leaving a single drop behind. His flesh shell strength rose to 12 million cauldron. From within Xiao Han's body, the roars of a swan and I and a sky dragon could be heard. His entire body was filled with an ancient aura, and every cell in his body was filled with explosive power. He was an extremely dangerous person, filled with an unparalleled pressure, like a human-shaped beast or a human-shaped weapon. Xiao Han slowly stretched out his palm. His 5 fingers were like mountains rolling mist. Thunderous roars of giant beasts resounded in the air. Absolute power surged out. With a slight movement of his 5 fingers, golden spears and armored horses floated up and down, flickering with a rarely seen divine light. 12 million cauldrons of pure physical strength. I wonder if it can shake the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and evil hero Li Fanming. Xiao Han licked his lips. However, Xiao Han was in a very sorry state. His clothes had been torn to shreds and he stood there naked. His face and body were covered in black filth, and his hair was as messy as a beggar's. Going out just like that? Xiao Han shook his head and broke into laughter. Afterwards, the spirit turtle's true chi surged and sealed up the violent aura of the flesh shell slightly. His entire body settled down, silently, like a peerless blade hidden in a case. He sat cross-legged. Outside the totem habitat. It was a dark and windy night, and it was a treacherous night. The barbarian soldiers who were guarding the buildings gathered together in groups of 2s and 3s, discussing with each other in private. These past few days there's been some movement inside. That Xiao Han would howl miserably every few days. It seems like he hasn't been tortured to death by the 2 giant beasts yet. What was going on? It's almost been 2 months and he's still not dead? This person's life is really tough. Something is indeed wrong. The 2 behemoths' auras are getting weaker by the day. Could it be that Xiao Han had subdued the 2 giant beasts? That's not possible, right? What a joke. Subduing 2 pure-blooded primordial descendants? Do you think a prisoner like Xiao Han can do it? If he really had the ability, he wouldn't have been thrown to feed the giant beasts. Suddenly, the building, which was filled with danger and ancient roars, suddenly fell silent. Calm as still water. Quiet as a ghost. Not only could people no longer hear the domineering roars of pure-blooded swan and I and pure-blooded sky dragon. Even the desolate ancient aura that was suppressing the fate of the heavenly dragon empire stopped abruptly as if it was annihilated. The resting place of the totem seemed to have turned into a grave. Hiss. The barbarian soldiers were the first to notice the abnormality. They could not help but feel their hair stand on end. They all gathered together. What's going on? All of a sudden there was no sound? Did something happen? Something big must have happened. It's as if I can't sense the life force of the pure-blooded heavenly dragon and pure-blooded Tao Wu anymore. This is unbelievable. What exactly happened? Enough. Don't make wild guesses. Listen, open all the doors and send a few warriors in to take a look. After a short period of discussion, the barbarian soldiers decided to take out the keys and open the iron doors that sealed the building so that they could go in and see what was going on. Xiao Han sat cross-legged in the silent building. Right now he was naked and there were no spare clothes in his storage ring or true acupoints. Xiao Han didn't know whether to go out or stay, and he was in a bit of a dilemma. After thinking about it, Xiao Han could not think of a good plan. Feeling bored, Xiao Han took out the evil hero token and turned on the message function. He received several messages at once. Xiao Han, if you encounter any danger in the heavenly dragon empire that you can't handle, return to the pure cloud sect immediately. Remember. Xiao Mingqiu, how are you now? Do you need me to come and help? Mo Qingtong. Xiao Han, Qingtong is teaming up with other evil heroes in the north region. She successfully killed a low-level demon emperor and earned a lot of contribution points. Moreover, Qingtong also picked up a map of the ancient ruins. Xiao Han. She invited you to explore the ruins with her team. Give her a reply. Fatty Zhu. Boss, Fatty has opened the 41st true acupoint. His realm has risen to the 5th level of true chi. Boss, where are you? Wolfan. Junior brother Xiaohan, is everything alright? Xiao Yunrong. Xiaohan? Xiaohan. Yunrong wants to hear your voice. Xiaohan? Xiaohan did not expect that after he turned off the message function, so many friends would leave messages for him. It made Xiaohan's heart warm up. I will also reply to them. Xiaohan smiled and prepared to leave messages for his friends one by one to let them know that he was safe. At this moment, clang, clang, clang. One after another, the thick and heavy iron doors were opened. Oh! Xiaohan's heart moved. It seems that after I retracted my aura, the barbarian soldiers outside have already sensed the abnormality. Great. I will take this opportunity to slip out. Xiaohan quietly moved his feet and hid in the shadows of the building, holding his breath. More than 10 barbarian soldiers, holding heavy weapons such as halberds, axes and wolf-teeth clubs, carefully entered the building. The densely packed barbarian soldiers were waiting outside vigilantly. Unexpectedly, after the barbarian soldiers entered, they were like clay oxen entering the sea. There was no more sound. What was more frightening was that the barbarian soldiers did not even make a sound. It was as if they had entered another world, evaporating and disappearing. A deep fear and creepiness suddenly seized all the barbarian soldiers who were guarding outside, ready to rush into the building if there was any abnormality. They looked at each other with chills running down their spines. Inside the building, Xiaohan held a set of animal skin armor in his hands. On the ground were the corpses of more than 10 barbarian soldiers. All of them were bleeding from their 7 orifices. Their internal organs had exploded. It fits perfectly. At this moment, Xiaohan was already dressed neatly. His whole body was wrapped in a brightly colored animal skin armor. He also wore a horned hat on his head. I am going out. Xiaohan lowered his head and slowly walked out. Outside the building. Damn it. What terrible thing has happened? Oh, go in and have a look. All of you go in. A barbarian leader's forehead was already dripping with cold sweat and his face was twisted. At this moment, they are out. Our people are out. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, a barbarian soldier slowly walked out of the building. Wearing a brightly colored animal skin armor and a horned hat, he lowered his head and walked straight out. When he was outside, he stretched his body a little. His whole body crackled like beans being fried. His breath was like a dragon's roar. His internal organs surged like a tiger's roar. An inexplicable sense of danger suddenly radiated out. The barbarian soldier did not even raise his head. He was about to pass through the crowd and walk out. Stop, stop. The barbarian leader's throat was dry and he screamed in a trembling voice. Where are the others? What about Xiaohan? What about the pure-blooded Tao Wu and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon? The barbarian soldier that walked out of the building. Naturally, it was Xiaohan. Xiaohan had been locked up in the building for nearly 2 months. Now that he could see the light of day again, although it was a dark and windy night, he was in a good mood. He felt as if he had broken free from the shackles of a cage. He did not answer and only lowered his head and walked quickly. Damn it, stop. Suddenly, a barbarian soldier roared. A barbarian soldier roared. He was carrying a thick mace and in a moment of desperation, he threw it towards Xiaohan's back. Like a flying meteor, it was powerful and heavy, piercing through the air and destroying everything. An ordinary person. If he was hit, he would definitely be torn into pieces and die. Hey. Xiaohan's body trembled slightly but he did not look back. His right hand reached out. Boom! This grab, his 5 fingers were like hooks. Between his palms, there was a kind of great destruction, an invincible violent power. The roar of a tiger and dragon could suppress ghosts and gods. Puchi. In an instant, the flying mace was crushed into powder. It was like crushing a piece of tofu. Xiaohan raised his head slightly. Coincidentally, a crescent moon swam out from the dark clouds, and a ray of clear light shone on the side of Xiaohan's face. It was a dark and dirty face, but his eyes were as bright as gems, as dazzling as stars. It's that Xiaohan. It's that Xiaohan. Immediately, a barbarian soldier let out a dry howl as if he had seen a ghost. Xiaohan actually did not die. This is, what is going on? Oh, how could I die in the hands of you barbarians? I am the evil hero. A evil hero will not die so easily. Xiaohan teased. So, Xiaohan. In my clan's pure-blooded Swanee and pure-blooded Sky Dragon. The barbarian leader's face twitched. His voice was hurried. "Oh, pure-blooded Swanee? Pure-blooded sky dragon?" Xiao Han patted his stomach. "They are all here." The barbarian soldiers' eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Their eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. But very quickly the barbarian leader gave an order, and the densely packed barbarian soldiers, each holding a heavy weapon, had already surrounded Xiao Han. Puff! A brilliant firework soared into the sky and blossomed in the pitch-black night sky, forming a mighty and massive pattern of a heavenly dragon. Xiao Han. You actually did not die, no? But, you can't run away. I have already set off the signal firework. This is our imperial city, heavily guarded. You can't run away. The barbarian leader King Kong roared fiercely, his eyes glaring with anger. The barbarian soldiers were worthy of being called barbarian soldiers. After a short period of shock and horror, they regrouped and released their sharp battle intent, firmly surrounding Xiao Han, as if they were surrounding a giant beast ready to hunt it. Xiao Han was happy and fearless, his whole person was very calm. "Originally, I wanted to deal with the Green Dragon Demon Emperor first. I did not want to fight with you shrimp soldiers, crab generals and Luoho, but since you want to court death, then I have no choice but to fulfill your wish. I naturally know that this is the imperial city of Heavenly Dragon Empire, an important military location, guarded by countless barbarian soldiers. However, I see nothing here. I will sweep through everything. Today I will bathe the imperial city of Heavenly Dragon Empire in blood. As if there is no one here." "Presumptuous, Xiao Han, you." The barbarian leader burst out with a roar that sounded like a tsunami. "What are you shouting for? When I say bathe, I mean it." Die. Xiao Han's body moved slightly, the strength of his flesh shell surged like a tide, crushing the space in an instant, rushing to the front of the barbarian leader. He struck out with his palm. Boom! The momentum of this palm was like a sudden clap of thunder, as fast as lightning, as violent as thunder. The airflow within a radius of more than 100 feet suddenly became chaotic, collapsed, twisted and withered. Puff! The barbarian leader did not have time to react. His head was hit by Xiao Han's palm. With a puchi, the barbarian leader whose flesh shell strength had reached 2 million ding was smashed into pieces. It scattered in all directions. Xiao Han's palm was like a big iron hammer, fiercely smashing on the top of an egg. The barbarian leader did not even have time to react. His whole body was smashed into pieces, leaving only a piece of human skin on the ground. Bones, muscles, internal organs, soul, everything was smashed into pieces and turned into nothingness. "If you want to live, scram immediately. I will kill anyone who dares to stop me," Xiao Han said ferociously. "P.S. There are too many relatives who are going to celebrate the new year. My family is also treating me, my mother-in-law is also treating me. I'm so tired. Every day I only manage to squeeze out a little time to update a chapter when I am back home. I hope everyone can understand I did not save any chapters. I really have no other choice. The target for February's update is as follows. February has 28 days, the basic minimum is 56 chapters. 99 chapters from last month have not been completed. Adding up to 155 chapters. I do not dare to play any more." Chapter 239. Ever since Xiao Han accepted the mission to kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and came to the Heavenly Dragon Empire, he had suffered many setbacks. Because of the enmity between him and the Tsang Dragon Crown Prince, he became the enemy of the entire Heavenly Dragon Empire. He was even thrown into the totem habitat to feed the giant beast. He felt very aggrieved. Now Xiao Han's flesh shell was complete. He was like a ferocious tiger that had jumped out of the abyss to kill. He wanted to see blood. In just one move he had smashed a barbarian leader into pieces. "Get lost. Otherwise I'll slap all of you to death." Xiao Han's gaze swept across the crowd, and his aura burst forth. Ho! The terrifying roar of a giant beast reverberated from within Xiao Han's body, causing the air around him to soften. His entire body was like the mountains and rivers, with the sky above his head, showing the vicissitudes of eternity. Tornadoes that could destroy heaven and earth were brewing in every cell of Xiao Han. His eyes were as deep as the Milky Way, with a divine light that could not be found in the mortal world, as well as an ancient and desolate aura. Ho! It was as if Xiao Han's body was rearing a primordial desolate beast. Ah! All of a sudden, the barbarian soldiers surrounding Xiao Han were intimidated and retreated in all directions. Only a few dozen ferocious and fearless brute soldiers remained. They still held their weapons tightly and breathed rapidly. Their eyes were bloodshot, and they wanted to fight with their lives on the line. Just then, Bang, 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 bang. The entire sky above the imperial city was filled with endless fireworks. Everywhere in the north, south, east, and west, fireworks exploded, creating images of all kinds of desolate beasts. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! Enemy attack! The imperial city was in an uproar. Hong long glong, hong long glong, hong long glong. From all directions the sound of iron hooves trampling the ground rumbled like thunder. Countless cavalrymen were charging over. Ho! Ho! Dozens of giant luans flew across the sky, and on each giant luan stood a dense group of barbarian soldiers. Ha 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 ha! The tens of barbarian soldiers that were surrounding Xiao Han relaxed their vigilance and nervousness, and laughed sinisterly. Xiao Han, you are surrounded. He won't be able to escape even if he has wings. Ha! Xiao Han's expression was calm. His mind moved slightly. Seems like I am indeed surrounded. I don't know how many barbarian soldiers are charging towards the imperial city of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. Moreover, where is the so-called Crown Prince Tsang, who is also the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor? Had it completed its mutation? It had already awakened 99,990 monster meridians, and only needed 10 more to successfully mutate. Once the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor mutates, it will be a catastrophe for the human race. Forget it, I will kill my way out of the Imperial City and hide, hoping to find the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor as soon as possible. If the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is in the Imperial City now, I will fight it to the death. I must get the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal. Only by devouring the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and learning the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's intrinsic demonic technique, I might be able to compete with Li Fanming. Xiao Han had made up his mind. Xiao Han, surrender yourself to us. Trapped like a turtle in a jar, you have nowhere to run. The barbarian soldiers surrounding Xiao Han regrouped and became excited. I don't want to play with you anymore, I will kill my way out first. Xiao Han grinned. With a loud bang, his aura was condensed to its peak, and then it exploded. Boom! All of a sudden the airflow within a radius of tens of feet collapsed, twisted, and caved in. The barbarian soldiers in all directions were like toads, crawling on the ground. Xiao Han let out a long laugh and his body moved and he flashed out. Chase. Dozens of barbarian soldiers climbed up, waved their weapons and chased after Xiao Han. Xiao Han did not slow down and he struck out with his palm. This palm contained 12 million ding of divine power, the fall of the river, fall of the star, and in an instant dozens of barbarian soldiers were crushed. Their bodies were smashed into pieces, and dozens of flattened human skins appeared on the ground. Xiao Han could vaguely identify the way out of the imperial city. His body was strong and with just a jump he could travel hundreds of feet and he ran out of the imperial city. Xiao Han, stop. Along the way many barbarian soldiers tried to stop Xiao Han. Xiao Han did not reply and he casually grabbed with both hands as if he was grabbing a chick, and pulled the barbarian soldiers over, and threw them out with all his might, smashing the houses in the imperial city, causing them to collapse and explode, and smoke and dust billowed. Xiao Han was like an unstoppable man. Roar! A giant ape whose whole body was burning with scarlet light, stood up from the direction of the imperial palace. It was as majestic as a mountain, and its eyes were like a sea of blood. The ape's pupils burst out with a terrifying light, sweeping left and right. Wherever its gaze passed, the air evaporated and the space caved in. On the head of the giant ape stood a large group of people. The leader was the Emperor of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, Song. Behind him stood a group of important ministers. Damn it. Evil beast. Song San jumped and his facial features shifted, and smoke came out of his 7 orifices. You actually did not die. Moreover, my tribe's sacred totem beast, the pure-blooded Swan Ni and pure-blooded Heavenly Dragon, seemed to have met with misfortune. Xiao Han. You have blasphemed our ancient and great race. You will be buried here. You will definitely die. Roar. King? King, please don't be angry, Xiao Han. Xiao Han can't escape. He has already fallen into the encirclement of our army. It will be difficult for him to survive. Moreover, King, this brat murdered our sacred beasts, he must have a great secret on him. If we are able to capture him, dig out his heart, extract his blood and extract his marrow, and obtain his secret, it will be immeasurable benefits for our tribe. The secret on him might be even more valuable than our sacred beast. And it's a pity that demon hero Li Fanming and my son Song Yun are currently not in the imperial city. Otherwise it would be as easy as blowing off dust to capture this brat. Song's face was gloomy. Xiao Han decided to kill his way out of the imperial city. Thus he immediately rushed out of the imperial city. He jumped like a meteor and his body tore through the air, leaving behind a rolling white wave. A main road that could allow hundreds of cavalry to run side by side. Rumble, 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 hundreds of cavalrymen trampled towards Xiao Han. The sound of killing shook the heavens. Like breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Unstoppable. The cavalrymen did not ride on war horses, but on a type of mammoth beasts. The mammoth beasts could be more than 3 zhang long, and their entire bodies were covered with thick hair that looked like steel needles. Their ferocious aura was monstrous, and they possessed great strength left behind from the ancient times. They were a large-scale army that could attack cities and break through enemy lines. The Heavenly Dragon Empire's Mammoth Beasts Cavalry Regiment had once conquered a tribe with a population of 1 million with only 10,000 of them. In that battle, 10,000 mammoth beasts launched an attack at the same time, and directly broke through the wall of the tribe. They completely ignored the arrows and innate chi attacks, as if they were in a no-man's land. They trampled over tens of thousands of enemy soldiers and blood flowed like a river. Corpses filled the field, and the enemy's heart and liver were destroyed, and they finally chose to surrender. Now there were 700 to 800 mammoth beasts rushing towards Xiao Han. These mammoth beasts were all covered in armor, and their heads and faces were painted with dye. They looked like ferocious ghosts with green faces and fangs. With just a slight attack there would be air explosions in all directions, and the ground would crack inch by inch. On top of the giant ape's head. King. Our Imperial Mammoth Beasts Cavalry Regiment is attacking. If they face Xiao Han head-on, they will definitely be able to break Xiao Han's momentum. Make him run away or surrender. If he doesn't handle it well, he will definitely be trampled into a meat patty. A famous barbarian said in a booming voice. The Imperial Mammoth Beasts Cavalry Regiment is one of the strongest troops in our Heavenly Dragon Empire. They can slaughter cities and destroy countries. They are trustworthy. Song nodded repeatedly, and his eyes were filled with calmness. This king wants to see how this Xiao Han is going to resist stubbornly. Cavalry? All of you die for this father. Xiao Han did not dodge or retreat. Suddenly his whole body collapsed. He collapsed hundreds of zhang high. Then he landed on the ground. Xiao Han fell from hundreds of zhang high in the sky, and directly landed in the middle of hundreds of mammoth beasts. Boom! Xiao Han stamped his feet on the ground. The whole ground suddenly collapsed, and with a rumbling sound, with Xiao Han's feet as the center, a huge earthquake occurred. Puchi, 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 puchi. The rock ground that was as hard as iron was split into pieces, floating in the air and then exploded. The air was distorted, and the mammoth beasts in the surroundings were overturned. Their armors cracked and a large group of mammoth beasts let out cries of despair and death. Then their huge bodies began to explode. The body of the barbarian soldier on the back of the giant mammoth beast also cracked like porcelain. His body was shattered. Blood flowed out from their 7 orifices, and all of them were sent flying. Huge python-like cracks spread out in all directions like lightning, and smoke and dust filled the air. Pung, 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 pung. The stone houses were torn apart by the twisting power. With just a jump and a fall, a troop of Imperial Mammoth Beasts cavalry was destroyed. Xiao Han was as terrifying as a real swan and eye. His lethality was too shocking. There was only one remaining mammoth beast at the back. The barbarian soldier on the back of the beast was scared out of his wits. He turned around and was about to escape. He was so scared that he wet his pants and was crying non-stop. Peng! Xiao Han's body moved and directly collided with the mammoth beast and the barbarian soldier, causing them to explode, and a cloud of blood splattered everywhere. Xiao Han stomped his right foot again and the ground collapsed. Thousands of spider web-like cracks spread out in all directions, and the ground within a radius of a few hundred zhang suddenly sank, forming a shocking hole. Whoever dares to block me will die. Xiao Han roared. His aura was incomparably sharp, and it was as if he had been possessed by a god. The light in his eyes was terrifying, and no one dared to look him in the eyes. The barbarian soldiers in all directions covered their heads and fled. Pung. Xiao Han once again jumped out of the city. On top of the giant ape's head. Song and the other ministers were all terrified, as if they had lost their parents. No. Our most elite troop, the Imperial Mammoth Beasts Cavalry Unit, was destroyed by Xiao Han. Annihilated. My king, this person is too terrifying. His pure physical strength is more than 100,000 ding, like a pure-blooded swan and eye, and no one can stop him. My king. We can't stop him. Air troops. Air troops. The strongest troops of the Heavenly Dragon Empire are moving out. Kill. We must capture or kill this bastard at all costs. Roar. Song King was filled with hatred and he roared loudly. Jia jiang jia jiang jia jia. A huge shadow swept across the sky. That was a dozen of the strongest giant Luan, and they pounced toward Xiaohan. Each of the giant phoenixes was dozens of feet long. Their feathers were burning with flames and divine light. Crimson clouds and mist roiled. Furthermore, on the back of the giant Luan, the strongest archers of the Heavenly Dragon Empire were all pulling their bows and shooting at Xiaohan. Air troops. The strongest army of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. For the Heavenly Dragon Empire, they had established an immortal meritorious deed. The giant Luan's blood chi was monstrous and it was cruel and vicious. The archer's strength was tyrannical, and they could shoot a willow tree 100 steps away, and search for the soul from 1,000 miles away. One arrow could destroy a mountain. The two of them complemented each other. Shio, 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 shio. The sound of something breaking through the air was like a violent storm. Heavens! In the sky, a scarlet light burst out, and the momentum was terrifying. Hundreds of scarlet lights shot towards Xiaohan, and the sound was like a soul-locking sound. The 100 transformations of the fish and dragon had a shocking aura, and it tore through the sky. Waves of ferocious beasts' baleful chi rose up, and it was terrifying. Those were the hundreds of bone arrows shot by the archers. Every bone arrow was about 10 zhang long, and when they were shot out, it was like a volcanic eruption. They could easily pierce through the hardest city walls, and if they hit a person's body, they would immediately explode and turn into a mist of blood. Hundreds of bone arrows scattered, covering an area of a few hundred zhang. They sealed off Xiaohan's front, back, left, and right. They wanted to turn Xiaohan into a hornet's nest. Ha 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 ha. Xiaohan let out a loud laugh, and his indestructible golden body burst out. This indestructible golden body used Xiaohan's flesh as its foundation. The stronger Xiaohan's flesh was, the stronger the indestructible golden body would be. At this moment, the strength of Xiaohan's flesh had reached 12 million ding. Once he activated the indestructible golden body with all his strength, 10,000 rays of annihilation starlight burst out, and the disillusionment nebula, star sand, cold dust, 10,000 zhang. It was so dazzling that no one dared to look at it directly. Xiaohan let out a roar, and the densely packed bone arrows shot into the annihilation starlight and cold dust near Xiaohan's body. Clanging sounds rang out, and a large area of space rippled. These bone arrows could not penetrate the indestructible golden body, and were all knocked away. In the next moment, boom! Xiaohan's feet stomped on the ground, and his entire body shot up into the sky. Whistling up. In an instant he jumped up several hundred zhang high, and suddenly rushed into the middle of the flock of giant Luans. True chi seeped out from Xiaohan's body, causing his body to stop in the air. Chio! The giant Luan let out a frightened wail as if it had a premonition of death. The archers on the giant Luan's back were caught off guard. They did not expect that not only did they fail to kill Xiaohan, but Xiaohan had also jumped up. They once again drew their bows, but it was already too late. Peng! Xiaohan struck out with his palm. It directly hit the head of a giant Luan. Pooh! The giant Luan, along with the barbarian weapon on its back, trembled violently, and then suddenly exploded, turning into a rain of blood. Po, 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 po. Xiaohan's face was as calm as water, and there was even a hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth. He walked in the air with majestic steps, and both of his hands struck out again and again, smashing the giant Luan into pieces. His chi was majestic and majestic like the sun and the moon in the sky, like the stars shining down, like the rivers flowing on the ground. The air within a radius of several zhang was sucked dry by Xiaohan's strength, forming a huge whirlpool of energy. The giant Luan could not fly out of this whirlpool, and could only accept the cruel fate of being killed by Xiaohan. Within a dozen breaths, Xiaohan smashed dozens of giant Luan with his bare hands. Some of the barbarian weapons on the back of the giant Luan were directly killed by the aftershock of his strength, and some fell to the ground and were smashed into meat paste. Xiaohan was completely unstoppable, as if he had entered an uninhabited realm. In the imperial city of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, almost all the barbarians raised their heads to look at the one-sided massacre that was taking place in the sky. Their hearts were filled with grief, and their hearts were like dead ashes. They knew that the man in the sky was like an ancient pure-blooded beast that they could not contend against. Every move he made could bring a terrible disaster to them. When there was only one giant yuan left, Xiaohan did not smash it into pieces. Instead, he directly grabbed the giant yuan and used all his strength to smash the giant ape that was being ridden by the Tsang King. The power of this smash was like the descent of an ancient demon god. It was like a cosmic storm that swept through the starry sky, shook the sun and moon and smashed the continent. It was like a god descending to the mortal world, and his iron hooves trampled everywhere, causing the mountains and rivers to fall. Bang! The giant yuan smashed into the chest of the giant ape. The giant yuan was directly smashed into pieces, and a hole appeared on the chest of the giant ape. Oh woo! The giant ape burst out in grief, and it let out a heart-wrenching howl. It kept retreating, and a large number of barbarian soldiers were trampled to death. Protect the king! Protect the king! Above the head of the giant ape, there was a cry of fear and terror. A golden yuan flew over, and the ministers hurriedly moved the ashen-faced and shivering Tsang King to the golden yuan. In an instant, the golden yuan escaped without a trace. Xiaohan did not chase after the giant ape. He used the 10,000 beast devouring formation and directly covered the giant ape. Oh woo! Oh, oh, oh. The giant ape let out an indescribable scream, and its huge body, which was nearly 100 feet tall, was refined and broken down into rays of white light that shot towards Xiaohan. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. The white rays of light shot into Xiaohan's body, and his aura condensed and rose again. His power surged and rose step by step. Run, run. This guy is not human. Run for your life. The barbarian soldiers and barbarians in the imperial city all ran out of the city and trampled on each other. There were countless deaths and injuries. Xiaohan stood in the void, absorbing and refining the bloodline genes of the giant ape to his heart's content. However, there were some thoughts in his mind. Even after such a huge commotion, the green dragon demon emperor still hasn't appeared. Moreover, the demon egg and the tattoo of the demon the arch on my left arm didn't sense any demonic aura at all. It seems that the green dragon demon emperor is indeed not in the imperial city. I'll leave the imperial city quickly and search around. Xiaohan absorbed the bloodline genes of the giant ape, and the strength of his flesh shell rose to 13 million cauldrons. He directly activated the spirit turtle True Chi and transformed into an ancient and huge spirit turtle. He then left the imperial city at an extremely fast speed. Chapter 240. Xiaohan wreaked havoc in the imperial city of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, violently slaughtering many barbarian soldiers. Then he refined the giant ape and increased the strength of his flesh shell to 13 million cauldrons. He was arrogant and domineering and finally left. No one dared to stop him. Xiaohan's true chi transformed into a spiritual turtle and flashed out of the imperial city of the Heavenly Dragon Empire like a fleeting ray of light. It seems that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is indeed not in the imperial city of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. I wonder where he is hiding. This great demon is seeking to mutate. I have to find him as soon as possible and kill him. Xiaohan sat cross-legged on the turtle shell and thought. Where are Li Fanming and the others? Are they still searching for the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor? However, they are really useless. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is standing in front of them, but they don't know anything. They even talk to the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor politely. How ironic. There were no pursuers along the way. Xiaohan activated the demon egg that was hibernating in his heart and sensed the demonic chi around him. A large yuan enshrouded in golden mist flew past Xiaohan's front, letting out a frightening cry. Xiaohan squinted his eyes and discovered that the golden yuan was an ancient beast that he had killed and refined before entering the Heavenly Dragon Empire's royal city. Its blood and chi were extremely strong, and once he refined it, his strength would increase by a few 100,000 ding. Xiaohan formed a 10,000 beast devouring formation with a thought. The golden yuan let out a heart-wrenching cry as if it was on the verge of death. It was imprisoned by the ethereal spell formation. Its life essence, bloodline and genes were drained bit by bit, turning into light. It shot into Xiaohan's body and became the nourishment for his flesh shell. After refining the golden yuan, Xiaohan only increased his strength by 50,000 ding. This isn't right. This golden yuan belongs to this region of the great wilderness. It is a ferocious wild beast with overflowing evil aura and can easily crush a giant mountain with its claws. Previously, I refined one and absorbed it, increasing my strength by almost 400,000 ding. Now, I refined one that looks exactly the same. It only increased my strength by 50,000 ding. It has shrunk greatly. Xiaohan was puzzled. Xiaohan frowned and pondered for a while, then nodded slightly. Maybe it's because my strength has improved rapidly. One's foundation can't be mentioned in the same breath. Therefore, if you refine the same beast again, the energy you absorb will be different. In other words, the power of Xiaohan's flesh shell was too strong. Refining beasts with ordinary bloodlines and genes could no longer increase his power by much. He had to go all out. Looks like I have to find more pure-blooded ferocious beasts to refine in order to greatly increase my strength. I don't think it's possible to fight like this in the wild. Xiaohan laughed involuntarily. However, pure-blooded ferocious beasts are not that easy to find. The pure-blooded sky dragon and pure-blooded swan and I are the holy beasts of the heavenly dragon empire. They are the rulers of this region. I have already accepted them. If I want to find more powerful beasts, I will have to go deeper into the wasteland. However, it is extremely dangerous and mysterious. I should give up on this idea for the time being. The most important thing now is to find the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and think of a way to kill this great demon. Just as Xiaohan was immersed in his thoughts, another flock of blue luan appeared in front of him. Xiaohan originally wanted to circle around them, but with the thought that no matter how small a mosquito was, it was still meat. Thus, he casually refined this flock of blue luan and obtained tens of thousands of cauldrons of strength. Just like that, Xiaohan sensed the demonic qi while refining wild beasts for fun. 3 days later, Xiaohan lost count of the number of blue luan, giant tiger, giant ape, giant rhinoceros, and giant crocodiles, increasing his physical strength to 14 million cauldrons. However, the more he refined, the more difficult it became. No matter how much he refined, he could not increase his strength by much. It seemed that his flesh shell had reached a bottleneck. Moreover, in these 3 days, Xiaohan passed by many tribes. These tribes should be under the control of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. Xiaohan carefully observed them, but he did not find any traces of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. These tribes did not have demonic qi and they seemed to be very peaceful. It was like a paradise. On this day the sky was clear. Damn it, where is the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor hiding? I have already searched for hundreds of thousands of miles, but I did not find any traces of the demon race. It was as if the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor had completely evaporated. Could it be that he has already left the vast territory of the Heavenly Dragon Empire and went to another region of the Great Wilderness? The Great Wilderness is boundless. If the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor has really left the Heavenly Dragon Empire, it will be like looking for a needle in a haystack. Xiaohan sat on the turtle shell with his legs crossed, feeling slightly anxious. At this moment, thousands of tents appeared in the grassland far away in front of him. Indistinctly, he could hear the bleating of cows, sheep, and horses. It was a small tribe. I can feel a faint demonic qi. Xiaohan sensed a faint fluctuation of demonic qi from the direction of the tribe, which made Xiaohan excited. After searching for a few days, he found the fluctuation of demonic qi for the first time. This made Xiaohan excited. Swoosh, Xiaohan broke down the spiritual turtle into wisps of true qi and kept them in his body. After that, he quietly landed on the ground, sealed all the aura in his body, and walked towards the small tribe. Along the way, he carefully sensed the faint traces of demonic qi. It doesn't seem to be a living demon. Someone must have killed a demon. It's the demonic qi emitted from the demon's corpse. Moreover, the demonic qi is too weak. It should be the corpse of a low-level demon general. Xiaohan concluded based on his experience. It seems like it's not the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Xiaohan was disappointed, but he still walked straight towards the tribe. At this moment, a few rays of glaze-colored true qi shot up into the sky from the tribe. The quality of the true qi was extremely pure and flawless. It was the true qi that was cultivated after being tempered for thousands of times. In the Great Wilderness there were many barbarians who cultivated true qi. However, it was extremely rare for them to purify their true qi to such a high quality. Oh, could it be that there's a demon hero in that tribe killing demons? Xiaohan thought to himself. Never mind, let's enter the tribe and take a look first. It was a small tribe with a population of thousands. Such a tribe in the vast Great Wilderness. It was like a small wave in the ocean, inconspicuous like a sesame seed or a mung bean, struggling to survive in the cracks. At this moment, in the middle of the tribe in the green grass, there was a 10 feet tall demonic beast with black scales all over its body and horns on its head. Its head had been chopped off, and the demonic blood that exuded an evil aura splattered all over the ground. It was a demon general who had been decapitated. Next to the demon general's corpse, there were 7 barbarian corpses, including the corpses of an old man and a child. The barbarians of the tribe stood in all directions. Their eyes were filled with panic and anger. There was panic and anger in his eyes as he looked at the 4 men standing at the side. The 4 men were tall and sturdy. Their aura was smooth and flawless. Their true chi was fluctuating and they were shining brightly. The man in the lead was dressed in a silver robe. His long eyebrows reached his temples and he was empty-handed. His skin was very fair and clean. The void around him was slightly distorted and sunken. The void around him was slightly distorted and sunken. His gaze was very cold. He looked at all the barbarians in the tribe like a high and mighty imperial envoy looking at a group of poor and uncivilized natives. Shockingly, this man was Taoist Yu Ming. Standing next to Yu Ming were his followers, Gui Han, Chen Tianla, and Wu Xiaofeng. However, Li Fanming, Nie Sainer, and Zhou Chuan were not present. Senior brother Yu Ming, Chen Tianla whispered to Yu Ming. It seems that there's only a demon general in this small tribe. It has nothing to do with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. We've rejoiced for nothing. Let's go now. I wonder if brother Li Fanming, Zhou Chuan, and Nie Sainer have found any clues. We've already wasted nearly 2 months in the Great Wilderness and gained nothing. Forget it, let's return to the Demon Hero region as soon as possible. Perhaps the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is not even in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. Huh? Yu Ming nodded indifferently. Let's go. The few demon heroes were about to leave. Wait. Suddenly, a middle-aged barbarian with a strong physique and a full beard stood up. His eyes were bloodshot and his body was twitching slightly because of anger. He looked at the corpse of a child lying in a pool of blood. It was not a demon but a 7-year-old boy in the tribe. He was usually very naughty and cute. He had divine strength at a young age and could already hunt alone. He was able to kill some small wild beasts and the tribe had high hopes for him. However, at this moment the child's body was shattered by the true chi. He was badly mutilated and lying there quietly. He would never stand up again and cause trouble. Oh. Yu Ming looked at the barbarian with a playful expression. You can't leave. You've killed innocent people of my tribe by mistake. You can't just leave like this. The middle-aged barbarian roared fiercely. His internal organs were burning. Shut up. Gui Han's true chi was boiling and his eyes were filled with killing intent. There's a demon general in your tribe. We, the few demon heroes, passed by this place and helped you eliminate the demon general so that your tribe would not be exterminated. Not only do you not know how to be grateful, you're even barking like a dog. You barbarians who don't know when to retreat. All of you shut up. If you make any more noise, hee, I'll kill you all. You demon heroes. Thousands of barbarians were enraged. They gritted their teeth and moved their bodies. They wanted to rush forward and risk their lives. You're too arrogant and overbearing. Just now, when you were killing that demon general, you clearly could have prevented the deaths of our innocent clansmen. However, you attacked violently and completely disregarded the lives of our clansmen, causing us to sacrifice 7 people in vain. Even a 7-year-old child was implicated by you. Little Aman was the most lively child in our tribe, but he died because of your arrogance. You've gone too far. A white-bearded old man was crying. He felt as if his heart was being cut by a knife. His blurred eyes emitted a terrifying light as he accused the barbarians with a hoarse voice. We'll report this matter to King Tsang Yun. If King Tsang Yun doesn't care, we'll report it to the Demon Hero Pagoda. We've also heard that unless there's no other choice, the Demon Hero will not harm the innocent. No matter who you are, our tribe may be weak, but we'll be entangled with you for generations to come. We won't let this matter go. The blood of our clansmen will not be shed in vain. Noisy. Yu Ming's shame turned into anger. He flicked his right index finger and a wisp of true chi swept past, sending the white-bearded old man flying. The old man vomited blood and fell to the ground. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. You're just a small tribe of a few thousand people. You dare to roar? Forget it. Since you don't know life and death, I'll slaughter every single person in your tribe right now. No one will be left alive. You want to report it to the Demon Hero Pagoda? You're threatening us. You're courting death. You're completely courting death. Yu Ming's handsome face that was like a pearl and beautiful jade. Gloomy and sinister flashed continuously. Do it. Kill them all. Leave no one alive. Yu Ming's voice was as if it was soaked in ice. It was bone-chilling and murderous. Yes, senior brother Yu Ming. The aura of the few demon heroes suddenly became dangerous. The true chi in their bodies surged and the huge murderous aura spread everywhere. Their bodies seemed to become bigger. Even the mountain and sea great prison couldn't compare to them. Even the mountain and sea prison could not compare to 1/10,000th of it. You bastards! You bastards! You're worse than pigs. You dare to kill people in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. You're too arrogant. Crown Prince Tsang-yun is in a nearby tribe. You still dare to kill people? Crown Prince Tsang-yun is the most benevolent. He won't let you go. The barbarians of this tribe all let out a heart-wrenching howl. All of them had glaring eyes and overflowing hatred. Kill. Yu Ming's face darkened. At this moment, Yu Ming, Qin Tianle, Gui Han, Wu Xiaofeng, I didn't expect you to be acting like a tyrant here. You actually want to slaughter an entire tribe. You're really tyrannical and lawless. A mocking voice sounded. Then a man wearing a colorful beast skin armor and a cow-horned hat walked out. The man's face was black and dirty. His hair was messy like straw. However, his eyes were lively and bright like the stars. His spirit was piercing through the sky and his whole body was full of energy. It was Xiao Han. Xiao Han quietly walked into this tribe. He already knew what had happened in this tribe. Back in the Heavenly Dragon Empire, Xiao Han was held hostage by Yu Ming and the other demon heroes. Then he was sold to Tsang-yun. This caused Xiao Han and these guys to have an irreconcilable hatred. Now they unexpectedly met again. The killing intent in Xiao Han's heart was so strong that he almost couldn't control it. He directly showed up and sneered. What? So, Xiao Han? Yu Ming and the other three also recognized Xiao Han in an instant. They were extremely shocked and involuntarily took a step back. Xiao Han. You're still alive? Yu Ming's eyes were full of doubt and shock. Obviously, he still didn't know that Xiao Han had caused havoc in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. He couldn't think of a reason why Xiao Han was still alive. After all, he had seen Xiao Han being thrown into the building where the pure-blooded Sky Dragon and pure-blooded Swan and I were raised. Even a powerful expert like Li Fanming had said that the two immemorial pure-blooded giant beasts could not be subdued or killed by ordinary talisman transformation realm experts. For a rookie like Xiao Han, being thrown into the building to feed the pure-blooded Sky Dragon and pure-blooded Swan and I was like throwing a meat bun to a dog. Xiao Han should have died a long time ago. Or he should have turned into a pile of excrement from the two giant beasts. However, he actually appeared in such a natural and unharmed manner. For a moment, Yu Ming and the others felt like their throats were choked and they couldn't say a word. Alright, I have a question. Is Crown Prince Tsang-yun in the nearby tribe? Xiao Han turned his head and looked at the group of barbarians. The barbarians were slightly dumbfounded by this person who suddenly appeared out of nowhere. However, the news of Xiao Han causing havoc in the Heavenly Dragon Empire's imperial city had yet to spread to this small tribe. Therefore, when they saw Xiao Han and Yu Ming standing opposite each other and Xiao Han wearing the armor of a barbarian soldier, they quickly regarded Xiao Han as one of their own. Yes, warrior. Crown Prince Tsang-yun is in a tribe tens of thousands of miles away. Crown Prince Tsang-yun is kind and generous. He wants to help the barbarian tribe to grow a large amount of fruits and vegetables. A barbarian woman immediately replied. Grow fruits and vegetables? Xiao Han's mind flashed with an idea. Don't tell me he's taking the opportunity to secretly plant the heaven-desolate demon fruit forest? That's great. We finally know the whereabouts of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. That's great. It's really a case of wearing out iron shoes and fruitless searching only to find it by chance. Xiao Han, you're not dead. You're really stupid. Since you're lucky enough to survive, you should have restrained yourself and returned to your sect with your tail between your legs. However, you just had to jump out again. You're courting death, do you know that? After a short moment of shock, Yu Ming calmed down. He swept out with his true chi to probe Xiao Han's actual situation. He discovered that Xiao Han's aura was as weak as before. It shouldn't be a problem for the four of them to work together to capture Xiao Han. Xiao Han, what do you want to do by jumping out now? Ha 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 ha. Xiao Han looked up to the sky and laughed. There are many people who say that I, Xiao Han, am a vile person. That's right, I am a vile person. Moreover, I will definitely take revenge for the smallest grievance. You bastards actually betrayed me previously. Ha ha ha, what do I want to do? Do you still need to ask? I want to beat you to death. I want you to be torn into pieces. I want you to be consigned to eternal damnation. Revenge is what I want to do. Chapter 241. Since they met on a narrow path, Xiao Han would definitely not let Yu Ming and the other monsters go. After exchanging a few words, his killing intent shot out. Impudent. Xiao Han, who do you think you are? How dare you roar in front of senior brother Yu Ming? You're courting death. Gui Han roared at Xiao Han angrily. Yu Ming waved his hand, gesturing for Gui Han and the rest to keep quiet. His face was gloomy as he looked at Xiao Han coldly. Xiao Han, you probably cultivate your physique and specialize in body refinement, right? Your chi cultivation is a mess. I've seen your performance in this year's Monster Hero selection. Indeed, you're invincible below the 6th level of chi. Furthermore, you have the means of the monster race. However, you're still a human, not a monster, so it's impossible for you to have any replenishment of demonic energy. When we captured you, you didn't use any demonic techniques. It's probably because your demonic energy is completely gone, right? If you could use demonic techniques, I might be afraid of you. But now that you've lost your demonic techniques, it's equivalent to losing your claws and teeth. You're just a sick cat, don't pretend to be a tiger. You may not have seen the true means of the aperture expansion realm, so it's inevitable that you're a little arrogant. Let me remind you, the difference between the 5th level of chi and the 6th level of chi is like the distance between heaven and earth. It's fine if you don't make a move, but once you do, you'll kill. Alright, don't make a mistake. Kneel down now, kowtow and beg for mercy. Cripple your cultivation and you can live. Any hesitation and you'll be killed. Yu Ming was bossy as if he held Xiao Han's life in his hands. At the same time, Chen Tianle, Gui Han and Wu Xiaofeng released their chi and sealed off a large area, trapping Xiao Han. It was like catching a turtle in a jar, so there wouldn't be any loopholes. Facing such a formation. Not only was Xiao Han fearless, his fighting spirit rose as he said slowly. Yu Ming, when I entered the Heavenly Dragon Empire's Imperial City, you guys actually joined hands to suppress me. That's fine, I can forget about it. However, we're all monsters and you guys didn't care about our friendship and betrayed me to Tsang Yun. Perhaps this is the rule of the monster hero world. Profit is everything. In front of profit, everyone can betray others. Alright, I won't say any more superfluous words. If you're heartless, I won't be righteous. You are also on the Devil Hero ranking, senior Devil Heroes with rankings. All of you have meritorious deeds, especially you, Yu Ming. You are 3,999th on the Devil Hero ranking. It's not easy either. It's just a pity that all of you will die in my hands. All the fame and fortune you've gained will be gone. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Han suddenly attacked. His flesh shell burst open as the indestructible golden body was activated. A domineering aura burst out from his body, accompanied by endless roars of beasts. Sand and pebbles flew everywhere. There was no light from the sun or moon. It was as if countless desolate beasts had suddenly descended upon this place. Xiao Han's body flashed. He flashed in front of Wu Xiaofeng and struck out with his palm. A massive force of 14 million cauldrons was unleashed. Boom! This palm strike was like an enormous pillar that could prop up the heavens. For a brief moment, darkness filled the world, and the sky seemed to collapse. Even the gray space of space began to crack and shatter. Roar! Wu Xiaofeng let out a muffled roar. In the blink of an eye, the true qi in his body began to burn crazily. It was a golden true qi that shone on the 9 provinces for eternity. It was of extremely high quality. Puchi, Xiao Han's palm strike landed on Wu Xiaofeng's protective true qi. In an instant, the true qi in Wu Xiaofeng's body was extinguished inch by inch and scattered in all directions. It was a complete defeat. Xiao Han's palm strike was like a hot knife through butter. It directly hit Wu Xiaofeng's body. Bang! This pure and majestic power caused Wu Xiaofeng's body to suddenly explode. Blood splattered everywhere as his body exploded and turned into powder. The famous Devil Hero ranked 6,999th on the Devil Hero ranking was killed by Xiao Han in one move. Xiao Han's expression was calm and unruffled. His right foot smashed out like a guillotine, shattering the planet. His leg technique was not fancy or skillful. It was like a primordial divine whip, forcefully lashing at evil hero Chen Tianle's head. Puff! Chen Tianle's head exploded in an instant. Densely packed cracks spread downwards and instantly covered his entire body. Then his body was torn to pieces. The Devil Hero ranked 7,012th had fallen just like that. Boom! Xiao Han once again punched out. His movements were as fast as lightning. He galloped endlessly towards Devil Hero Gui Han. Xiao Han's punch contained 14 million cauldrons of divine power. It was like a stampede of 100,000 flood horses. How powerful was the stampede of 100,000 flood horses? It was simply not enough to describe it as toppling the mountains and overturning the seas. If 2 armies were to fight on the battlefield, the earth would tremble from the impact of the charge of 100,000 flood horses. When this kind of power was added to a person's body, It was as if he was possessed by a demon god. Oppressing evil spirits, killing tens of thousands of people, and destroying mountains. This punch landed on Gui Han's body, and his body crumbled like a piece of paper. The strong man ranked 691st on the Devil Hero ranking was instantly killed by Xiao Han just like that. Xiao Han attacked quickly and decisively. He killed continuously. In a breath's time he killed Qin Tianle, Gui Han, and Wu Xiaofeng as if they were grass. The barbarians in all directions were shocked and retreated in all directions like the tide. In their eyes, Xiao Han had completely become a ferocious beast in human form, a lethal weapon in the human world. Xiao Han killed 3 people in a row. He was not satisfied. Not only did he not exhaust his strength, his entire body's strength and aura had been accumulated to the peak. Xiao Han's body charged forward again. He struck out with his palm towards Yu Ming. His aura was like a king of the world, sweeping through the sun and moon. B***starred. Xiao Han, you B***starred. You actually killed 3 veteran devil heroes in a row. People like you are deranged. Everyone has the right to punish you. Yu Ming's heart trembled. However, he was a stage 6 true Qi cultivator. Qin Tianle, Wu Xiaofeng, and Gui Han could not compare to him in terms of true Qi and battle power. Yu Ming's true Qi soared into the sky. With a flash he dodged Xiao Han's punch. Boom, 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 boom. Within Yu Ming's body, gigantic balls of holy light rose up one after another. Every single ball of holy light was overflowing with true Qi, and their auras were extremely sharp. A total of 55 balls of holy light floated like 55 bright moons. Loud and clear holy songs rang out. Divine skill chants and diagrams bloomed everywhere. Xiao Han. I am stage 6 true Qi. I have opened 55 true Qi points and expanded them 5 times. The expansion of the true Qi points is 19 times. Killing you is like slaughtering a pig or a dog. Star-picking hand. Yu Ming's clothes fluttered. His hair and beard stood on end. A star pattern appeared on top of his head. His aura had reached the peak. The weather in a small area changed. The 55 balls of holy light turned into 55 stars. Star sand swirled and endless starlight surged. It enveloped Xiao Han, making him feel like he had fallen into a starry sky. An oppressive pressure enveloped Xiao Han. In the next moment the 55 stars combined and formed a huge star. One could see that there were mountains and continents on this star. There was a sea of palaces and even a myriad of living beings. Then, pooh, a huge earthen yellow hand big enough to cover the sky, suddenly grabbed out from this star. It directly grabbed towards Xiao Han. Star-picking great true Qi star-picking hand. Xiao Han, you little devil, immediately die. Shatter your bones. This earthen yellow hand surged with tyrannical true Qi. It contained traces of a mysterious martial art. It could crush stars. The surroundings began to shake, and the sound of sonic booms rang out incessantly. The huge hand grabbed towards Xiao Han. This grab was the condensation of Yu Ming's true Qi. It was the understanding of martial arts in his life. Yu Ming had completely and utterly urged his life potential to the limit, and released a killing blow. The strongest blow. It seems that cultivating true Qi is indeed the way of the king. Yu Ming had opened 55 acupoints in his body, expanding them by 19 times. Logically speaking, in terms of pure strength he should only be around 1 million ding. However, he had cultivated the star-plucking true Qi. When he struck out with the star-plucking palm, he could completely explode with a strength of around 45 million ding. It also contained many martial arts techniques and profoundness. If it wasn't because I refined a pure-blooded sky dragon and a pure-blooded Swanee, I would have been injured. And I still have to cultivate true Qi in the future. Otherwise, if I only rely on brute force, I will still lose and end up miserable when I meet a true expert. If I cultivate true Qi well, it will be much more advantageous than pure strength of the body. Xiao Han's mind spun. It's a pity that you only expanded your meridians 19 times. It is still not enough to display the power of this true Qi cultivation technique to the extreme. If you expanded your meridians 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, then I could only run for my life. Xiao Han's eyes were like torches. Roar. In the next moment Xiao Han let out a violent roar. His entire body's aura was like that of an ancient demon lord. Within his body, a violent power condensed, surged and erupted. Within every cell, there seemed to be a pure-blooded sky dragon and a pure-blooded Swanee being raised. Bang! Xiao Han threw out a punch. It was like a million volcanoes erupting at the same time, clashing head-on with the earthen yellow true Qi giant hand. Xiao Han's strength was powerful, but he didn't use any fancy moves or techniques. It was just a head-on collision. Xiao Han took one step at a time. He straightened his body again and threw another punch towards the giant star. Puchi. The star disintegrated, exploded, shattered. What? Yu Ming let out a hair-raising scream. How is this possible? Your strength, how did it increase by leaps and bounds and reach such a level? It's more than 10 million ding. This is impossible. You're just a mortal body. It's impossible for you to have such a tyrannical strength. This kind of strength will make your body explode. My star-plucking hand, which can suppress all outstanding talents, was actually broken by your pure physical strength. What a great shame. Good Xiao Han, you're amazing. I'm not your opponent. I'll retreat now and cultivate in seclusion. Wait until my meridians expand by 30 times, then I'll come back to kill you. Yu Ming was about to retreat. You can't escape. Xiao Han sneered. The inside of his body roared continuously, and a powerful force was emitted. With Xiao Han as the center, a force field was produced within a radius of 300 meters. The force field distorted the light and the air, and also distorted Yu Ming's true qi, making it impossible for Yu Ming to escape immediately. Die. It was you who betrayed me first and wanted to kill me? Now that you've been killed by me, you only have yourself to blame. Xiao Han was expressionless. The power of his physical body surged and his body became tall and mighty like a god. He threw out a punch. Fear and despair suddenly seized Yu Ming. He felt that he was facing an immemorial pure-blooded ferocious beast, not a human. Bang! Yu Ming was sent flying by Xiao Han's punch. Dense cracks appeared on his body, as if a jade artifact had been smashed into pieces. Blood spurted out from his mouth. In an instant, his breathing became weak and he was on the verge of death. No. I, Yu Ming, am not willing to die like this. I, Yu Ming, am a genius. When I was young, I was a genius of the North region and was highly respected. In the Devil Hero selection competition, I was tempered and became a Devil Hero. I advanced step by step, and my cultivation also soared to the expanded Meridian realm. I killed demons and was successful in every endeavor. My future will be very bright. On the Devil Hero ranking list, I'm ranked 3999. It's just temporary. No. I don't want to die here. I still have dreams and ambitions to achieve. Yu Ming's eyes stared straight at Xiao Han. He kept coughing out blood and the cracks on his body became deeper and deeper. It looked like his entire body was about to explode. Xiao Han. You can't kill me. My ranking on the Devil Hero ranking list is not low. Moreover, I'm Big Brother Li Fanming's man. Once I die, the higher-ups will investigate the cause of death. Big Brother Li Fanming will investigate thoroughly, and sooner or later he will find you. At that time, although the world is big, there will be no place for you to stand. Xiao Han, I advise you not to make a mistake. As he spoke, Yu Ming took out his Devil Hero token. His psyche fluctuated as though he wanted to send a message. You still want to send a message? Go and die now. Li Fanming? Even if he doesn't come looking for me, I will kill him sooner or later. Xiao Han stomped his right foot on the ground and the ground collapsed. The aftershock of the force immediately caused Yu Ming's injured body to explode into pieces and splattered everywhere. Xiao Han's vital energy formed a palm and grabbed Yu Ming's Devil Hero token. Because Yu Ming was already dead, his Devil Hero token had already dimmed, and became a piece of useless rock. I wonder if this guy sent out the message that I killed him before he died. But it doesn't matter, I've already killed him. Now, I'm going to hunt down the Green Dragon Demon Emperor and obtain its Demon Emperor crystal to further increase my combat power. With my current combat power, it will be troublesome for me to face some experts at the peak of the expanded acupoint realm, especially those who have expanded acupoints multiple times. Therefore, I must obtain the Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal to have the resources to compete with the other demon heroes. Xiao Han picked up the spiritual stones of true qi and some books that were scattered on the ground, and stored them in his true acupoint. After doing all this, Xiao Han walked towards the group of barbarians who were already scared out of their wits. Xiao Han revealed a harmless smile on his face, and said to a middle-aged barbarian, "Guys, I've killed those villains who used their powers to bully people. Now, please tell me the exact location of the tribe where Crown Prince Zongyun is staying." Warrior, you went to find Crown Prince Zongyun. What do you want to do? The middle-aged barbarian stuttered, and looked at Xiao Han with shock and admiration. Oh, Crown Prince Zongyun and I are like brothers. We haven't seen each other for many years, so I want to catch up with him and have a good chat. Xiao Han smiled. With a few words, Xiao Han clearly knew the location of Crown Prince Zhang Yun's tribe, which was the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. If he rushed at full speed, Xiao Han would be able to find the Green Dragon Demon Emperor in a day's time. Everyone, I'll take my leave. After getting the information that he wanted, Xiao Han's vital energy transformed into a spiritual turtle, and like a stream of light, he disappeared in a flash and flew towards the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's tribe. The operation to hunt down the Green Dragon Demon Emperor had begun. P.S. There's basically nothing to do tomorrow and I can ride it home in peace. Chapter 242. Xiao Han sat cross-legged on the turtle shell and flew towards the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's tribe like a meteor. There's going to be a life-and-death battle next, Xiao Han said calmly like an old monk in meditation, trying to adjust his mental state and physical functions to their best state. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is definitely stronger than Qinglin Demon Emperor when he was at his peak. Although the strength of my body is as strong as the waves, it's still not enough to fight with Qinglin Demon Emperor when he was at his peak, let alone the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. However, I must kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. It's imminent. If I don't kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, I won't be able to increase my combat strength in a short period of time. It'll be frustrating if I encounter a super demon hero like Li Fanming. Even though he had easily killed Yu Ming, the Aperture Expansion Realm demon hero, Xiao Han did not feel proud at all. Yes, even a super expert like the Emperor of the Sun couldn't kill Demon Emperor Qinglin in a one-on-one battle. Xiao Han admitted that he couldn't fight against an opponent like the Emperor of the Sun yet. If he were to use the Emperor of the Sun as a reference, then Xiao Han would definitely die if he fought against the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. A high-level demon emperor who had awakened 99,990 demon meridians and could mutate his demon bloodline was not that easy to kill. In any case, even if I can deal with a great demon like the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor or even defeat it, there's nothing I can do if it wants to escape. Xiao Han felt a headache after thinking about it. That's right, Xiao Han had just become a demon hero and was considered a rookie. If a human rookie demon could hunt down the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, who was renowned throughout the ages, the demon race should have been wiped out by the human race a long time ago. I have to calm down and come up with a plan. I have to make sure nothing goes wrong, Xiao Han thought to himself. After calming down, Zhang Xian operated his brain, and in the time it took for a spark to fly, he came up with a plan. Withered Stone Tribe. The Heavenly Dragon Empire reigned supreme in the great wilderness. Tens of thousands of races came to the empire and ruled over countless tribes of various sizes. The Withered Stone Tribe was known as the most barren tribe in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. That was because the Withered Stone Tribe had a small population. There were very few Yuan beasts roaming about. The soil quality of the scorched earth was special, unsuitable for planting and breeding. The Withered Stone Tribe did not have the ability to expand outwards, so they could only stay behind. Their ancestors had relied on growing millet and barley for generations. Crops such as millet barely survived. This tribe was almost forgotten by the Heavenly Dragon Empire. However, everything had changed dramatically because of the arrival of Crown Prince Zhang Yun. 3 years ago, Crown Prince Zhang Yun came to the Withered Stone Tribe. He personally worked on this special soil area. He opened up the wasteland and planted endless fruit forests. Fragrant fruit, honeydew melon, coconut forest, lychee, dragon fruit. This caused this barren land to become fertile and fragrant all year round. The hard soil with special humus had become loose after Crown Prince Zhang Ying's efforts. The soil was fertile and breathable, suitable for growing flowers and trees. This day the sky was clear and boundless. The tribesmen of the Withered Stone Tribe were waving their hoes. It was a wasteland reclamation on a black, scorched land. This black scorched earth was extremely hard. When the hoe dug into it, it produced a clanging sound and even sparks. The scorched earth emitted a strange smell that was hard to describe. After we reclaim this scorched land, we can plant sweet and fragrant cantaloupes here. We will have a good harvest next year. An old man loaded piles of scorched land into a large wooden cart. Crown Prince Zhang Yun is really our savior and true God. He has turned our barren land, which even wild beasts don't want to come to, into a paradise. There are sweet fruits like gems everywhere. An old woman also had tears in her eyes. Soon this group of tribesmen dug 3 feet into the ground and dug out all the scorched earth, revealing the light yellow soil underneath. All the scorched earth was loaded into wooden carts. Move this scorched earth to the area designated by Crown Prince Zhang Yun. His Highness will personally destroy this devilish soil. The tribesmen looked pious as they pushed the wooden carts towards the center of the tribe. The center of the tribe. In the endless lush honeydew forest. Next to a simple stone house, there was a large black fruit forest. The demonic aura was dense. Even the air was filled with a creepy demonic sound that made one's hair stand on end. In this space, there was a demonic power that could change the color of heaven and earth. There were many black fruits on the branches. Each of the black fruits was as big as an apple. Their skin had strange characters and symbols of the demon race. Heavenly Wasteland Demon Fruit. The supreme treasure of the demon race. In this heavenly wasteland demon fruit forest, there were piles of black scorched earth. The earth was hard and emitted a strange pungent smell. However, this scorched earth seemed to be the best fertilizer for the heavenly wasteland demon fruit. The black fruits slightly trembled as they absorbed the scorched earth, causing it to break down into beams of black light, which were absorbed by the black fruits. An extremely handsome middle-aged man with red lips and white teeth was dressed like a Confucian scholar. His eyes were full of demonic aura, and his aura was fierce and evil. He was like a ghost. Just by standing there, he gave people a feeling that he was invulnerable. His pair of demonic eyes were full of ambition and ambition. With a slight movement of his body, he was in danger of devouring the world. He was like an ancient demon lord. He was Crown Prince Zhang, the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor. To think that this tiny tribe has the best soil for breeding heavenly desolate demon fruits. The heavens are truly helping this emperor, allowing this emperor to obtain this great fortune. With these heavenly desolate demon fruits, this emperor will be able to successfully mutate and truly become a great nobleman of the demon race. I'll become a celebrity. I'll also be able to gain a place in the monster capital. The Blue Dragon Demon Emperor's voice was extremely strange, sharp, and trembling. Every syllable contained a powerful demonic sound that could turn one's brain into mush and body into ashes. However, in this area, be it the demonic aura emitted by the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor or the demonic aura emitted by the Heavenly Wasteland Demon Fruit Forest, they were all shielded by a light barrier, preventing them from being discovered. In the next moment, roar, the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor suddenly opened his mouth, and a barbed tongue that was full of thorns shot out from his mouth. It was a long, stinky tongue that was drooling. The long tongue was 10 feet long and looked extremely ferocious like a python. It immediately curled around the Heavenly Wasteland Demon Fruit Forest. It instantly wrapped around hundreds of Heavenly Wasteland Demon Fruits. The Heavenly Wasteland Demon Fruits instantly melted and turned into boiling demonic water. The Blue Dragon Demon Emperor retracted his tongue and swallowed the demonic water. Wung wung wung. The Blue Dragon Demon Emperor's body suddenly lit up densely with demonic meridians. His entire body was bathed in demonic aura. I've already awakened 99,999 demonic meridians. There's only one left. Once I successfully awaken it, I'll mutate. However, the last demonic meridian, the 100,000th demonic meridian, was extremely difficult to awaken. It was just like breaking through the acupoints of the human race. It was even more difficult than breaking through the 61st true acupoint of the talisman transformation realm. However, once I awaken the 100,000th demonic meridian, I'll have a meteoric rise. All the hard work and waiting will be worth it. The Blue Dragon Demon Emperor laughed strangely. At this moment, the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor's ears twitched a few times. He suddenly waved his hand and a demonic light flashed. The towering and evil Heavenly Wasteland Demon Fruit Forest instantly disappeared as if it had evaporated into thin air. The demonic aura on the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor's body had also faded, and his eyes suddenly became clear. The moon was bright and the stars were sparse, and his body was filled with righteousness. The demonic aura in the entire area had been swept away. Crown Prince Zhang. Crown Prince Zhang. A large number of people from the Withered Stone tribe. They pushed the wooden carts filled with scorched soil and came before the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor respectfully. They bowed deeply and their eyes were filled with fervent devotion and faith. Crown Prince Zhang, we've reclaimed another piece of barren land. You can destroy the scorched soil yourself, an old man reported. Alright, leave the scorched soil behind. You guys can continue with your work. At this time next year, there will be no more scorched soil on the land of the Withered Stone tribe. The entire tribe will be filled with the fragrance of fruits and will be as beautiful as a fairyland. The Blue Dragon Demon Emperor's voice was filled with compassion and compassion. The clansmen poured the scorched soil in the wooden carts at the place that the Blue Dragon Demon Emperor had designated. At this moment, The blue dragon demon emperor's eyelids twitched uncontrollably as he blurted out. He's here? This, he. The blue dragon demon emperor made a sound that sounded like an owl hooting. Crown Prince Songyun, what are you doing? Nothing much, I just sensed a familiar aura. It's an old friend that I haven't seen for many years. He's here. Go out and welcome him immediately. The blue dragon demon emperor's eyes were burning with a crazy flame. That kid's aura. It's actually that kid's aura. On his body, there is something that attracts this emperor. It's a fatal attraction. This is the supreme opportunity for me to mutate. He actually descended. It seems like the rise of me is unstoppable. The blue dragon demon emperor adjusted his emotions and a playful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth before he walked out. Xiaohan finally arrived at the border of the Withered Stone tribe. The entire tribe was filled with fruit trees that were fluttering in the wind like flags. The colors were gorgeous and the fruits were plentiful. The fragrance of the fruits was rich and fragrant. As the breeze blew, the fragrance of the fruits assaulted his nostrils, making him feel slightly tipsy as if he was drinking wine. I have to say that it's extremely difficult to find such a warm and fragrant place in the great wilderness. It's really picturesque. Of course, that's if there's no demonic qi here. Xiaohan rubbed his nose gently. He was just standing at the border of the Withered Stone tribe and had yet to set foot on the land of the tribe, but the demonic egg that was hibernating in Xiaohan's heart started to spin rapidly and gave him a warning. Moreover, the tattoo on the palm of the demon, the arch on his left arm, was also trembling and throbbing. Blue Dragon Demon Emperor, I finally found you, Xiaohan murmured in his heart. At this moment, a few kind-looking barbarians came out from the tribe and greeted him respectfully. Friend from afar, you're a friend of our respected Crown Prince Songyun. Crown Prince Songyun already knows that you're here. Please enter the Withered Stone tribe. You'll enjoy the highest treatment and hospitality. Please come in, come in. Oh. Xiaohan was slightly stunned and blurted out. Blue Dragon. Crown Prince Songyun already knows that I'm here? Can he feel my aura? Xiaohan's voice suddenly became so low that it was almost inaudible. I can feel his aura too. It's very obvious. It's really interesting. Both of us can clearly feel each other's aura. Both of us are coveting each other. It's like a pair of archenemies. This time I, Xiaohan, will take a risk again. I'll use my life and kill my way out. It's either I succeed or I die. Chapter 243. Xiaohan knew very well that he could rely on the strange demon egg in his heart to sense the demonic aura at any time. Any disguise of the demons would be exposed. At the same time, Xiaohan also knew that any demon would be able to sense the aura of the demon egg. It seemed that the demon egg had a fatal attraction to the demons. Be it the North Mystic Demon Emperor, Qinglin Demon Emperor, or the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, they had all acutely sensed that there was an extraordinary and precious secret embedded in Xiaohan's body. It made them want to covet it. Therefore, as long as Xiaohan got a little closer to the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, he would be targeted by it. There was no way to avoid it. There was nowhere to hide. I can only risk my life and fight. Xiaohan was well aware of the current situation. He had to face a super great demon at its peak alone. The danger and the omen of disaster were not known to outsiders. As he thought about it, Xiaohan was already welcomed by a large number of tribesmen of the Withered Stone tribe like stars surrounding the moon. He officially entered the small, picturesque tribe that was full of fruits and vegetables. While Xiaohan casually dealt with the tribesmen who were kept in the dark by the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, he kept his eyes and ears open. The demon egg in his heart was trying its best to sense the demonic aura in all directions. This place was indeed very beautiful, with vermilion railings, white stones, green trees and clear streams. It was truly a place where people could not be found. If it wasn't for the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, Xiaohan would be very happy to stay here for a period of leisure and carefree life. Friend from afar, please have a taste of the beautiful fruits of the Withered Stone tribe. An old man plucked an apple-shaped fruit from the colorful fruit forest and handed it to Xiaohan politely. Xiaohan took the fruit and took a bite. He only felt that the sweet water from a sweet spring suddenly surged and filled his mouth. It was simply delicious and indescribable. At this moment, boom, 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 the demon egg in Xiaohan's heart suddenly sped up as it sensed the extremely strong and evil demonic aura. Xiaohan, I can't believe that you're still alive. That's great. That's great. This crown prince has always opposed royal father's stubbornness and arbitrary actions. I tried to persuade him time and time again to let you go, but he still. But, Xiaohan, this crown prince saw you being imprisoned in the totem's resting place with my own eyes. Why are you still standing here, perfectly fine? It's really puzzling, a hearty and natural voice rang out. His words were meaningful and could immediately make people have a good impression of him. Xiaohan looked up and saw the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, who was dressed like a Confucian scholar, striding over. Its entire body was bathed in holy light, and its eyes shone brightly. Its gaze encompassed and forgave all living things. It was simply like a saint. Her face was as bright as a pearl or jade. It was very gentle, making people want to get close to it. Tiske, this fellow's disguise is too perfect. No wonder he was able to deceive so many people. Even Li Fanming, an ancient giant, was easily fooled by him. Xiaohan laughed coldly in his heart. However, he was really nervous and he was secretly accumulating and condensing all the power in his body to ensure that he could erupt with his strongest attack at any time. Hello, Crown Prince Yun. Xiaohan also pretended to smile. I heard that Crown Prince Yun often stays in the Withered Stone tribe. How should I put it? Back in the palace, Crown Prince Yun pleaded for me and I am very grateful. Moreover, Crown Prince Yun is very handsome and I admire him very much. This time, when I passed by the Withered Stone tribe, I specially came over to pay a visit. I want to once again admire Crown Prince Yun's peerless demeanor. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor looked into the depths of Xiaohan's eye sockets with a playful look, and a faint demonic light bloomed in his eyes. Now that he was alone with Xiaohan, and there was no super demon like Li Fanming by his side, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was not too cautious. Xiaohan was not worthy of his attention at all. Moreover, as he faced Xiaohan, he increasingly felt that there was an inexplicable and fatal attraction in Xiaohan's body, which made him feel an itch that he could not scratch. He could not wait to cut open Xiaohan's stomach to see what was going on, or simply swallow Xiaohan. Xiaohan, my little friend, how exactly did you escape from prison? Please tell me. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor smiled faintly. This. Xiaohan couldn't help but touch his nose. Crown Prince Yun, it seems that you haven't returned to the Heavenly Dragon Empire for a few months. To be honest, some drastic changes have taken place in the Heavenly Dragon Empire. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was stunned. Yes. Not long after I was thrown into the resting place of the totem, a group of demons came to my rescue a few hours later. There were a few ancient giants and a few ancient giants. However, they did not come to rescue me but for the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. These super demons swore to kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and would not return empty-handed. Crown Prince Yun, you probably haven't seen the methods of the ancient giants. I only saw a few ancient giants killing the pure-blooded Swan and I and the pure-blooded Heavenly Dragon with a flick of their fingers. Tsk, they killed them with a flick of their fingers? It would be a piece of cake for an expert of that level to deal with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. It's as easy as picking up grass, don't you think so, Crown Prince Yun? Xiaohan spoke without thinking. What? The ancient giants who are ranked on the demon ranking? Upon hearing this, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's expression changed abruptly, and his facial features seemed to have shifted. How is this possible? They're all old antiques who don't show themselves to the world, and their combat strength is not inferior to the great Demon Emperor. Oh, how could they come out to chase after, kill the Demon Emperor? Clearly, Xiaohan's nonsense had given the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor a great shock. Xiaohan saw cold sweat seeping out of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's forehead. This fellow seems to have almost been scared to death by me. Xiaohan continued, secretly feeling pleased. The ancient giants have descended. That's absolutely true. Crown Prince Yun, let me tell you, those ancient giants are simply awe-inspiring. When they found out that Li Fanming had betrayed me to Yun, they were all furious and punished Li Fanming on the spot. They punished him to eat sh*t, so they ordered someone to find a few buckets of sh*t for Li Fanming to eat on the spot. Tiske. Li Fanming dared not say anything even though he was angry. He ate sh*t one mouthful at a time, frowning and with tears in his eyes. I'm so happy to see that. This. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was completely dumbfounded. He stared at Xiaohan with a doubtful look in his eyes. Immediately after, he said hurriedly, "Forget it, my little friend Xiaohan, come, let me talk to you alone. I have a huge secret that I want to share with you." Xiaohan's heart tightened. I want to have a long talk with my little friend Xiaohan. Don't disturb us. Disperse and go back to work. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor instructed the tribesmen in all directions. Everyone in the tribe worshipped the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor like a god. Naturally, no one dared to disobey any of his wishes. They immediately retreated in all directions. My little friend Xiaohan, please follow me. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor said to Xiaohan, sounding a little impatient. Phew! Xiaohan exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, and a fighting spirit was brewing in his heart. Before this, some of the schemes and dangerous moves that he had been thinking about were now being deliberated and pondered over again. I wonder what important secret Crown Prince Zongyun has to share with me. Xiaohan's lips twitched slightly and he didn't refuse at all. He followed the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and walked deeper into the tribe. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was in front, and Xiaohan was behind. One human and one demon, one in front and one at the back, walked at full speed. Xiaohan took a quick glance and realized that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's shoulders were twitching subconsciously. He seemed to be very excited, exuding a sense of eagerness. Seems like he's eager to eat me? Xiaohan was well aware of it. Behind him, a demonic light flashed between his eyebrows. All of a sudden, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body seemed to have become transparent, allowing Xiaohan to clearly see the intertwining demonic veins in the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body. Every demonic vein was like a mountain ridge, a spirit vein, and an ancient evil dragon that was filled with destructive demonic power. This is definitely going to be a tough battle. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is too powerful. He's stronger than Qinglin Demon Emperor, stronger than the Great Sun Emperor, and even stronger than me. Can I, Xiaohan, defeat him this time and forcefully go against the heavens? Xiaohan's thoughts were fluctuating. On the eve of the battle, he was completely nervous. All of a sudden, Xiaohan discovered, what? 9,999 demonic veins. Unbelievable. In the past 2 months, this great demon is only one demonic vein away from mutating. Once it mutates, it'll be a disaster for the human world. Xiaohan, my little friend, your emotions suddenly fluctuated a little. What's wrong? Suddenly, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor turned around and glanced at Xiaohan with an extremely demonic expression. His tone was filled with excitement and agitation, and his throat was moving slightly as he swallowed his saliva. His expression was like that of a glutton seeing delicious food, a drunkard seeing fine wine, or a lecher breaking into the boudoir of a rich lady. It's nothing. Xiaohan forced himself to calm down. Alright, my little friend Xiaohan, we're here. No one will disturb us here. I can tell you a huge secret. Ha ha ha. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's tone suddenly became extremely strange, and there was a hint of hysteria in his eyes. Xiaohan looked up and realized that he was in a Hami melon forest in the depths of the tribe. There was a huge open space in the forest that was covered with green grass, but there were no fruit trees. In the open space, there were a few piles of scorched earth that were as tall as a mountain, and there was also a lonely cold stone house. The demonic light between Xiaohan's eyebrows flashed again, and he immediately pierced through the space. He saw that there was a large black fruit forest hidden behind the scorched earth mountains not far away. It was overflowing with demonic chi and there were many black fruits. The skin of each black fruit was covered with mysterious, ancient, and evil demon words. There seemed to be a primordial demon venerable hibernating in each black fruit. It's the Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruit Forest. The Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruit Forest that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor secretly planted here. It's the source of mutation that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is looking for. Xiaohan suddenly understood. All of a sudden. Buzz, 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 buzz. The tattoo on the Demon Emperor's palm on Xiaohan's left arm trembled and released a hungry signal. No. Tens of thousands of dried demon meridians and 3 Demon Emperor crystals on the Demon Emperor's palm released a greedy desire at the same time. The Demon Monarch palm on my left arm, the withered demon veins that have lost their demonic power, and the 3 gem-like Demon Emperor crystals have all sent out strong signals that they covet the Heavenly Desolation Demon Fruit and are determined to get it. As long as I get these Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruits, I'll definitely be able to replenish my demonic power instantly. As long as my demonic power is effectively replenished, I'll be able to release the illusionary movement, Heavenly Demon Godly Investiture, and Apocalyptic Demon Saber. Together with the power of my flesh shell, it's not impossible for me to kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. I, Xiaohan, want to kill the Demon Emperor. I want to complete this almost heaven-defying mission. Not only will I be able to refine the demonic corpse of this Demon Emperor and obtain the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal, but I'll also be able to earn 1,000,000 contribution points. Xiaohan's heart was completely filled with passion. This heavenly wilderness demon fruit forest has been shielded and hidden by the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor using a special method. Ordinary people won't be able to see through it, but it can't escape my demonic eyes. I'm too far away from the heavenly wilderness demon fruit forest now, so I can't absorb the demon fruits to nourish my demon meridians. I need to get closer, a little closer. I need to pick the heavenly wilderness demon fruits with my own hands. Xiaohan quietly walked towards the heavenly wilderness demon fruit forest that was hidden in the gap between the space. Alright Xiaohan, stop right there, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor said with a creepy smile that sent chills down one's spine. I'll tell you a secret now. No one in the entire Heavenly Dragon Empire knows about this secret. I'll tell you now. If I'm not mistaken, the secret you want to tell me is that the real Prince Zongyun's brain has been sucked dry by you. Now you're using the human skin of Prince Zongyun to deceive people, right? Green Dragon Demon Emperor. Since things had come to this, Xiaohan directly revealed the crux of the matter. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was shocked. You know about it? I didn't expect you to see through my true identity. That's unbelievable. Even Li Fanming, who's ranked on the Demon Hero ranking, couldn't find any clues. However, a small fry like you managed to see through me? Interesting, very interesting. As soon as he finished speaking, boom, 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 boom. Glazed demonic chi burst out of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body and completely sealed the area. The demonic chi formed a light shield that covered Xiaohan and the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, causing the people outside to be unable to see what was happening inside the light shield. I knew that you're the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor the first time I saw you. I have to say you've taken a pill that can shield your demonic chi. Even an experienced demon hero like Li Fanming was deceived by you. However, you can't deceive me. Xiaohan took a deep breath and was no longer in a hurry to get close to the heavenly wilderness demonic fruit forest. He knew that it was a matter of life and death, and he had to be on his guard without being distracted. Otherwise, he might be taken advantage of by the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor and be at a disadvantage. Xiaohan took 3 steps back and the power in his body surged like a tidal wave as he glared at the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. However, Xiaohan had yet to remove the seal of the Spirit Turtle Genuine Qi, causing his aura to seem extremely weak. He was trying to confuse the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor so that he could launch his strongest attack at the right time. It seems like you really have a huge secret. It must be related to the demon race. If I get my hands on this secret, I'll soar to the sky. Rise suddenly. Xiaohan, I've awakened 99,999 demonic meridians and it's the critical moment of my mutation. Initially, it would take a lot of accumulation to awaken the 100,000th demonic meridian with the heavenly wilderness demon fruit forest. It's not that easy. In the end. The great demon god has actually sent such a fortuitous encounter to this emperor. In that case, this emperor can only kindly accept it. After I mutate, I won't forget your contribution. When the time comes, I'll burn some joss paper for you to reward your soul. Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. I'm going to beat you up today. Die. While the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was getting carried away, Xiaohan suddenly released all the power in his body. All of a sudden, the terrifying roars of tens of thousands of beasts sounded from his body. It was as if there were primordial pure-blooded ferocious beasts descending from the sky. Xiaohan struck the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor with his palm. The terrifying power of 14 million cauldrons exploded at once. The palm was earth-shattering, breaking the ancient times and making him the most powerful. Between Xiaohan's 5 fingers were the roars of the pure-blooded Swanni and pure-blooded heavenly dragons. Absolute power surged out, causing the airflow in all directions to distort, collapse, and cave in. Xiaohan made a desperate attack and wanted to beat the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor to death. Chapter 244. Xiaohan was in an extremely dangerous situation as he had completely fallen out with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. The human and the demon were eyeing each other and they would not rest until one of them was dead. Xiaohan made the first move and attacked brazenly. He punched out, causing the mountains and rivers to fall as he attacked the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Before this, Xiaohan had been concealing his strength. Not only did the Spirit Turtle True Qi seal his True Qi tightly, even the power of his body was restrained, making it impossible for others to see how strong he was. Now that he had unleashed his full power, his strength, battle intent, killing intent, and fighting spirit were all at their peak. His aura was enough to suppress ghosts and deities. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's pupils constricted. Obviously, he did not expect Xiao Han's strength to be so violent. In the blink of an eye. Boom. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor also threw a palm attack. There was no fancy technique in the palm attack. Just like Xiao Han's battle technique, it was a head-on collision. The power of a casual palm attack from the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was more than 10 million ding, which was not inferior to Xiao Han's. It could destroy heaven and earth and penetrate the earth meridians. Boom, boom, boom. Endless airflow collapsed and light became distorted. Bang. The human and the demon clashed head-on with a punch and a palm attack. Whoosh. A giant mushroom cloud rose between the human and the demon before it exploded, causing the void to crack inch by inch. It was a ghastly sight. The ground under their feet was also sinking. Huge cracks spread in all directions, causing smoke and dust to billow. The human and the demon both took a few steps back. They stood still. This Azure Dragon Demon Emperor is so powerful. Even when I attacked with a strength of 14 million ding, I still couldn't defeat him. His demonic body is like a pillar that can support the heavens and the earth. A casual strike from him is like a thunderbolt. Xiao Han stared at the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, not daring to relax or be distracted at all. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor had opened 99,999 demonic meridians. If each demonic meridian contained 100 cauldrons of strength, his pure strength would only be around 10 million cauldrons. He was slightly weaker than Xiao Han, but he was still an advanced demon emperor. His demonic body. It was as deep as the sea. It had a great boost to its strength, allowing it to fight evenly with Xiao Han, who had devoured the pure-blooded Swan Ni and the pure-blooded Sky Dragon, with just a slight attack. He was not at a disadvantage at all. The demonic aura of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor became more and more demonic. There was a flash of surprise in his demonic eyes, but he soon regained his composure and looked at Xiao Han with great interest. There was an irresistible majesty at the tip of his eyebrows and the corner of his eyes. That was the majesty of a demon emperor. Master. I have to say, Xiao Han, you're a weirdo. You're also a new hero, aren't you? In this emperor's life I have fought with countless evil heroes, and I have personally killed many evil heroes, but you are the weirdest one. You're a human but you don't cultivate your true chi and instead focus on your flesh shell. However, the strength of your flesh shell has actually exceeded 10 million cauldrons, roughly around 15 million cauldrons. To be able to temper and condense his flesh shell to this extent, he had even surpassed many barbarians of the great wilderness. Among all the human heroes that I've seen, you're the first. Well, I'm too untalented and failed to cultivate my true chi. That's why I changed to cultivate my flesh shell. I had no choice. Xiao Han smiled casually, but he was extremely focused and did not dare to slack off. His life potential was stimulated to the greatest extent. Besides, Xiao Han did not use his true chi at all to fight the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. With Xiao Han's current true chi cultivation, he was too weak. Be it the Emperor's Divine Fist, the Hornless Dragon Mysterious Ice True Chi, the Spirit Turtle True Chi, or even the Saber Intent, they were all too childish for the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. He was like a baby playing with a sword. Xiao Han could only use his physical body and pure strength to fight the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Yes, I found another way, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor said slowly. However, you're really stupid. Although I'm not a human, I know that you humans have to cultivate true chi to be orthodox and to prove your Tao. Cultivating your flesh shell? It's just brute force. Ah. However, it's meaningless to you because, you'll be devoured by me. After eating you, I'll be able to become a mutated demon emperor. Bloodline ascension. You want to eat me? You don't have that ability. Go to hell. Xiao Han gathered his divine power again and with a move of his body, he threw another punch at the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor with lightning. Xiao Han, you probably don't know yet, do you? I'm the ruler of an area with my strength. My strength is one of the best among the high-level demon emperors. You're trying to defeat me with your strength. You're just trying to show off in front of an expert. Bang. Just like before, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor casually threw out a palm strike and dispelled Xiao Han's punch. Xiao Han, I'll give you one last chance. Give up resisting, kneel down and beg me to eat you. In that case, I'll be merciful and I'll only eat your brain and heart. That way I can keep your corpse. If you continue to resist stubbornly, this Empress will eat you up, skin and bones included. I'll let you die without a complete corpse. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's attitude was completely like a cat toying with a mouse. He did not take Xiaohan seriously at all. You and I are worlds apart. You don't stand a chance at all. How dare you pull the Emperor down from his horse even if you're willing to be cut into pieces? I don't care if you're a low-level Demon Emperor or a high-level Demon Emperor, explode. Xiaohan also became courageous. His indestructible golden body surged violently and the destructive starlight shot everywhere. He was full of vigor and fighting spirit as he attacked with both fists that were beating like drums. He punched the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crazily. One punch after another, he did not seem to be tired at all. Childish. Bang, 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 bang. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor also slapped his palms repeatedly and fought with Xiaohan. Both the human and the demon were known for their strength. They fought from the ground to the sky and back to the ground again. Wherever they went, the space would explode inch by inch, the air would wither, the ground would collapse, the mountains would collapse, and the huge cantaloupe forest would be crushed into powder by the aftershock of the power. It was a mess between heaven and earth. It was unknown how many times they had fought. The human and the demon finally separated again. Huff huff huff, Xiaohan panted heavily while star sand and cold dust were all over his body. He had fought with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor without any hesitation just now. This caused Xiaohan to expend a lot of his physical strength, but the fighting spirit in his eyes did not weaken at all. Instead, it rose steadily, releasing a kind of brazen courage that seemed like he was going to fight to the death, cut off all means of retreat, and stake everything on a single throw. The heat from the indestructible golden body repeatedly washed and nourished Xiaohan's body, making up for the physical strength that he had lost. How troublesome. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's face became ferocious. Anxiety flashed in his demonic eyes. Finally, all right. I won't pester you anymore. Die. A violent aura was released. It appeared out of nowhere and enveloped the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. In the sky, the world shook as if it had been torn open and countless demonic lights shone down. The densely packed words of the demon race shone with a demonic glow and lingered around the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Suddenly, a vast and majestic chant could be heard. It was the song of the ancient demon race, as if millions of demons were singing at the same time. The clouds moved in all directions and the sky turned dark. It was as if the world was going to completely transform into the demonic realm. Ha ha! The demonic chi in the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's eyes became more and more intense, and his ferocious aura was terrifying. Every pore on the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body was spurting out colorful and dreamy demonic chi. The majestic demonic chi surged like a tide, almost forming a demonic chi tide. Hong, 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 in the next moment, the skin on the surface of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body started to crumble. His entire body began to expand. I'll give up on this layer of human skin. It's alright, I'll have a fortuitous encounter after devouring you, Xiaohan, and successfully mutated. Then this layer of human skin will be worthless. The skin on the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's face started to peel off in large pieces. A ferocious and thick tail emerged from the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's tailbone. It was covered in thorns and green scales. Damn it. This demon has transformed. No, to be precise, it has restored its original appearance and appeared in front of me in the true form of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Previously, it was using the body of Prince Zongyun to fight me. Perhaps its demonic chi couldn't be completely released yet. In that case, now that it has restored its original appearance, Xiaohan couldn't help but take half a step back. His throat was a little dry and his heart was beating faster. After 10 breaths, the true form of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was finally revealed. It was more than 20 feet tall, and its skin was light green. Its skin was covered with demonic words that were glistening and extremely strange. It also had a giant tail that was rolling back and forth, stirring up the airflow. Its appearance was still that of a human's. It was a very young and handsome face, even more handsome than Crown Prince Zongyun. It was as white as snow, but besides that, it glowed with a soft and clear light. It was as if it was carved, as if it was polished, as if it was made of gold or tin, as if it was a piece of jade. His hair was light and agile. A pair of demonic eyes were faint azure, sparkling and translucent. They were indescribably beautiful. Demonic light surrounded them and beams of light shot into the sky. The image of an azure dragon appeared in the faint azure pupils, letting out a roar that could destroy the ages. So, Xiaohan, Everything is over. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor said with a gloomy demonic chi. Not necessarily. At this moment, Xiao Han had already been forced into a dead end. In terms of combat strength, Xiao Han was not as strong as the Great Sun Emperor or the Qinglin Demon Emperor at his peak. He was also far from the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor who had transformed and returned to his original form. Xiao Han was relying on a single breath and a single thought to hold on. Once fear arose in his heart, Xiao Han's aura would be weakened. In the face of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's rising demonic chi, Xiao Han would be killed instantly. Xiao Han activated his saber intent and forcefully destroyed all the negative emotions in his mind. He combined all his strength with the indestructible golden body and was going to fight to the death with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Furthermore, Xiao Han's footsteps moved slightly without anyone noticing. His back happened to be facing the heavenly wasteland demon fruit forest. This is my only chance. Let's see if I can seize this chance. At the moment of life and death, Xiao Han's life potential was unleashed to the limit and he became calmer and calmer. Not bad. You have the demeanor of an expert. You're calm even when you're about to die. You're similar to some of the senior heroes that I've seen before. If you don't die today, you'll also become a famous hero in the future. However, there's no more chance. Die young Xiao Han. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor waved his right hand and struck a palm at Xiao Han. The palm was still simple and plain. However, as soon as the palm was launched, the entire right arm of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor was covered with green scales all of a sudden. They were dragon scales. The scales of the Azure Dragon. Every green scale emitted the glory and greatness of the ancient dragon race, as well as the eternal vicissitudes that shone through the ages and suppressed the 9 continents. Moreover, the green scales seemed to have established a mysterious and unfathomable connection with a certain great period of history in the ancient times. The aura was like rocks piercing through the sky, waves crashing against the shore, and thousands of piles of snow were swept up. It was like a painting and there were many heroes at once. It was as if the ancient gods had descended all of a sudden. In an instant, the right arm and palm of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor became bigger and bigger in Xiao Han's eyes. They were as big as mountains and covered the sky. Every green scale was like a small world. Boom! The huge palm tore through the void and swept everything in its path. It struck down at Xiao Han's head. The world was filled with light and dazzling light. Countless demonic songs and dragon roars appeared out of nowhere. Ancient divine radiance and dragon might were released at the same time, and there was a brilliance that was definitely not seen in the mortal world. The power of the palm was indescribable. To Xiao Han, it was almost invincible. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's innate demonic technique, to transform his physique into the ancient Azure Dragon's physique. He obtained the power and blessing of the ancient Azure Dragon. Heavenly demon subduing dragon. It's too powerful. It's indeed stronger than the Great Sun Emperor and Qinglin Demon Emperor. Moreover, it's only a partial transformation. It turned his right arm and palm into the arm of the Azure Dragon. If his entire body is transformed into the Azure Dragon, wouldn't it be heaven-defying? I'm going all out. Whether I live or die depends on this. The 14 million ding of strength in Xiao Han's body was closely combined with the indestructible golden body. The ancient divine radiance of the indestructible golden body that lingered outside his body was immediately restrained and returned to Xiao Han's body. The supreme heat that nourished his meridians and organs filled every part of his body, including every inch of his skin, flesh, and every cell. I'm going all out. Boom! Xiao Han also threw out his most terrifying punch so far. His true chi surged out and he slashed out a mid-stage saber intent that destroyed everything in its path. A punch, a saber intent, and the indestructible golden body forcefully resisted the palm of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Ah, childish. I'm going to beat you up until you wish you were dead, and then I'll eat you slowly. Ah, get lost. Bang! There was no suspense at all. Even the strongest attack that he could use at the moment could not compete with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor at all. The saber intent was crushed and the power was broken. Xiao Han was hit by the palm. He spat out 3 liters of blood. Xiao Han's organs, meridians, and bones seemed to have exploded all at once. He was sent flying and his aura was weak. If not for the nourishment of the indestructible golden body, Xiao Han would have exploded a long time ago. Even so, his body was still covered in densely packed cracks. It was a ghastly sight. It was as if he would shatter with a single touch. Bang! Xiao Han happened to fall in the area where the heavenly wilderness demonic fruit forest was planted. his injured body smashed into the ground, creating a human-shaped pit. Chapter 245. Xiao Han and the transformed Azure Dragon Demon Emperor clashed head-on. That allowed Xiao Han to thoroughly experience the ferocity of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Strictly speaking, Xiao Han and the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor had similar abilities. They both relied on their physical bodies and brute force. However, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's intrinsic demonic technique was to transform his demonic body into the ancient Azure Dragon's physique. The power of the ancient Azure Dragon could easily move mountains and fill up seas. A casual attack from him could cause the dust of history and the endless vicissitudes of life. The civilization of the dragon race was among them. All of a sudden, Xiao Han was beaten to the point where he wished he was dead. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels felt like they had been smashed into paste. Even his tough body was nearly blown apart. The surface of his skin was full of cracks, like broken porcelain. The difference in battle prowess between the two was indeed too great. They could not be mentioned in the same breath. Xiao Han was sent flying, and the place where he landed happened to be the demon fruit woods of Heaven Wasteland behind the scorched earth mountains. All of this seemed to be the result of precise calculations. The Heavenly Wilderness Demon Fruit Forest was shielded by the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor using a special method so that ordinary people could not see it at all. However, Xiao Han had the demonic eyes that could see through everything. Bang! Xiao Han's injured body sank into the ground, forming a human-shaped pit that was half a meter deep. Blood spurted out. Now Xiao Han was really angry and on the verge of death. There were spider web-like cracks all over his body, and it seemed like his body would shatter if the wind blew. However, Xiao Han's will was as firm as a knife. Although his body was covered in wounds and his bones were about to break, he still held his breath. His breath did not weaken, and his mind and soul still maintained a trace of clarity. Too terrifying. I was so close to dying. I really gambled too much this time. However, now that things have come to this, how can I retreat? Invincible golden body heal. Xiao Han's mind moved, and the invincible golden body in his body let out a surging sound. The warm current began to nourish Xiao Han's injured body from the inside out. The dense cracks on the surface of Xiao Han's skin also began to heal inch by inch. Meanwhile, the demonic monarch tattoo on his left arm began to emit a vortex-like suction force. Even the heavenly desolate demon fruit woods that were hidden in the cracks of space were affected by the black hole-like suction force. The densely packed black heavenly desolate demon fruits let out rustling sounds and were on the verge of falling. Suck. Whether the left arm of the demon monarch could successfully steal the heavenly desolation demonic fruit and use the heavenly desolation demonic fruit to replenish the dried-up demonic meridians so that every demonic meridian could be filled with demonic energy again would be the key to his life and death. It's also one of the most important parts of this bet. Between life and death, Xiao Han's mind became calmer and clearer. The demonic sovereign left arm palm continuously exerted a suction force, pulling the heavenly desolate demonic fruit in the spatial crevice. Greed and need, hunger and thirst unbearable. Moreover, Xiao Han had used the spirit turtle's true qi to completely seal up his presence. Even his eyes, ears, mouth, nose and tongue were sealed up. He could not breathe at all. He seemed like a withered rock, which would make people believe he was already dead. Dead. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor sneered. The green dragon scales on its right arm faded and returned to normal. You're overestimating yourself. How dare you try to kill me with such little strength? That's the biggest joke in the world. If everyone on the human demon hero ranking is as stupid as him, it's only a matter of time before the demon race unifies the world. Forget it. I'll go devour this brat's corpse first. I'll get the secret from him. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor slowly walked towards the place where Xiao Han had fallen. The demon monarch palm tattoo on Xiao Han's left arm was still sucking the heavenly desolate demonic fruit forest crazily, causing the entire forest to make rustling sounds. At this moment, boom! The demonic egg that was hibernating in Xiao Han's heart suddenly released a strange suction force. All of a sudden, a heavenly desolate demonic fruit flew out from the spatial crevice. It fell right into the deep pit where Xiao Han was buried. Buzz, the demon monarch palm on Xiao Han's left arm disintegrated the heavenly desolate demonic fruit almost immediately like a hungry taotai. The heavenly desolate demonic fruit turned into rays of demonic light and completely dissolved into the withered demon monarch palm. Something miraculous happened. Xiao Han's demon monarch palm on Xiao Han's left arm suddenly expanded and was surrounded by a brilliant demonic light. Thousands of withered demonic meridians were reignited and burned with a glass-like demonic force. The demonic force was extremely pure. It caused Xiao Han's left arm to be covered in a layer of mist and demonic aura with demonic words flowing on it. All of a sudden, the 3 demon emperor crystals became as bright and beautiful as the stars in the sky. Then, Xiao, the second heavenly desolate demonic fruit was pulled out. The third heavenly desolate demonic fruit was pulled out. The fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. In just 2 to 3 breaths' time, all the heavenly desolate demonic fruits on the branches of the heavenly desolate demonic fruit forest were extracted from the spatial crevice by Xiao Han's demon monarch palm and the demonic egg that was hibernating in his heart. Not a single one was left. The human-shaped pit that Xiao Han was in had been filled up into a fruit hill. There were over 10,000 heavenly desolate demonic fruits. Meanwhile, the heavenly desolate demonic fruit forest was already barren. Only the helpless branches and leaves were left. The sudden change of events caused the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor to be confused, causing him to stop in his tracks with a dumbfounded expression. This is... All of a sudden, the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast sensed a hint of a scheme. Damn it, idiot. Xiao Han. You're not dead. How dare you steal my heavenly desolate demonic fruit? This Emperor understands, this Emperor completely understands. You schemed for so long and were sent flying by this Emperor precisely because you wanted to approach this heaven wasteland demon fruit forest and steal it. You're too cunning. You're too cunning. The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast felt like he was being teased. How shameful. How humiliating. Roar. The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast let out an angry roar. The mountains and rivers were destroyed, and the mountains and orchards in all directions were destroyed. A large number of people who were working in the Withered Stone tribe were killed by the aftermath of the demonic aura. However, the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast soon calmed down. His face was gloomy and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Enough. Xiao Han, you don't have long to live. This Emperor can beat you to death with one hand and consign you to eternal damnation. Stealing the heavenly desolate demon fruit is completely useless. The heavenly desolate demonic fruit is indeed a sacred treasure to us demons, but it's worthless to you humans. Now I'm going to eat you. I'm going to eat you alive. I'm going to drink your brains dry. I'm going to chew your bones. I'm going to suck your blood dry. I'm going to eat your heart raw. At this moment, boom. The heavenly desolate demonic fruits that were piled up like a hill disappeared all of a sudden. They were kept in Xiao Han's storage ring. Cough cough, cough cough. Xiao Han slowly climbed out of the deep pit. His body was in a mess and his flesh was badly mutilated. However, a visible airflow was quickly healing Xiao Han's injuries. The heavenly desolate demonic fruit is indeed a sacred treasure of the demon race. It's like a precious medicine. I've only absorbed 9 heavenly desolate demonic fruits, and I've already replenished the demonic power in this demonic meridian. I've heard that in the demon world, ordinary low-level demon emperors, middle-level demon emperors, and even high-level demon emperors aren't qualified to plant the heavenly desolate demonic fruit forest. It's obvious how precious the heavenly desolate demonic fruit is. Now, I've obtained all the heavenly desolate demonic fruits in this heavenly desolate demonic fruit forest. There's a total of 10,000 heavenly desolate demonic fruits. In this way, I don't have to worry about my demonic power being depleted. I can even perform demonic skills continuously. Ah. Xiao Han let out a maniacal laugh of satisfaction and satisfaction. Xiao Han, what are you talking about? The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast was furious. What demonic meridian? What replenishing demonic power? Originally my chances of winning this gamble were very small. However, with these heavenly desolate demonic fruits, my chances of winning are now close to 50%. Good, very good, very good. All of a sudden Xiao Han closed his eyes. Azure Dragon Monarch, do you know how many contribution points you're worth? As long as I kill you, I'll be able to return to the demonic hero pagoda and receive 10,000 contribution points. 10,000 contribution points. All of a sudden Xiao Han opened his eyes. There was a fierce look in his eyes as if he had nothing to lose. You've lost your mind. You're a lunatic. Alright, I'll eat you right now. The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast felt like he was being provoked by a tiny worm. He flew into a rage and slapped Xiao Han with his palm. As soon as he slapped his palm, the shadow of green dragon scales appeared in the air. The roars of the ancient dragons could be heard. It was so powerful that it could destroy everything. Xiao Han remained motionless. The palm hit Xiao Han's body. Xiaohan was smashed into pieces. An afterimage? There's also a strong demonic wave. This makes me feel the aura of a demonic emperor. It's a low-level demonic emperor. The aura of a low-level demonic emperor. The Azure Dragon Monarch beast suddenly turned around. Xiaohan had already appeared behind him. At this moment, Xiaohan's left arm was surrounded by a demonic aura. Xiaohan took out another heavenly desolate demonic fruit from his storage ring and broke it up so that the demonic emperor palm could absorb it to replenish the demonic power that he had used to cast the illusionary movement. Now that Xiaohan had enough ammunition, he could deal with the Azure Dragon Monarch beast. Kit, you're a monster? You're a low-level demonic emperor? The Azure Dragon Monarch beast was stunned. That was the Beishan demonic emperor's natal demonic skill, illusionary movement? I'm a human hero. I'll kill monsters in my life. The human race and the monster race are irreconcilable. How could I be a demonic emperor? Die. Azure Dragon Monarch Beast, I'm going to kill you today to complete this heaven-defying mission. The demonic aura on Xiaohan's left arm burned and all the demonic power in the demonic meridian on the demonic emperor palm was instantly sucked out. A bright demonic light flashed in Xiaohan's left hand and a blood moon scimitar appeared in his hand. The scimitar was curved like the moon and released a beautiful and pure demonic light. The body of the scimitar was engraved with countless ancient demonic runes and talismans that described the civilization of the monster race. The demonic fire was burning. There was also an evil eyeball embedded on the body of the scimitar. Its demonic aura soared into the sky and devoured everything in the world. The eyeball blinked and devoured all the space, time, light, air, and life aura. Demon Emperor Qing Lin's apocalyptic demonic saber? The Azure Dragon Monarch beast was completely shocked. Demon Emperor Qing Lin is my good friend. Why is his apocalyptic demonic saber in your hands? What's going on? After you're killed by me, you can personally ask Demon Emperor Qing Lin in the Netherworld why his world-destroying demon blade appeared in my hands. Apocalyptic demonic saber. A demonic and beautiful saber radiance flashed out from Xiaohan's hand. The saber radiance was poignant, sad, desperate, and heartbreaking. It was a beauty that surpassed any worldly beauty. Its speed was a few hundred times faster than the speed of sound. Everywhere the saber radiance passed, the world was in chaos and everything was sucked out. Everything turned into nothingness. The air was chaotic and collapsed, and there were signs of withering in all directions. The demonic power is too weak. Sky Demon subduing dragon. Break. The Azure Dragon Monarch beast bared his teeth and struck out with both palms at the same time. His left and right arms had both transformed and green scales were rolling. His palms shook the mountains and destroyed the vitality within a radius of dozens of kilometers. After the Azure Dragon Monarch beast transformed his demonic body into the primordial Azure Dragon's physique, his physical body was so strong that it could destroy the world and crush everything. Boom! The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor pushed his palms forward and clashed with the apocalyptic demon saber that Xiaohan had slashed out. A large part of the green dragon scales on his left and right arms were torn apart by the saber radiance, and there were some hair-like cracks on his strong demonic body. The saber attack caused the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor to be slightly injured. However, the saber radiance was still crushed by the Azure Dragon Monarch beast. However, as soon as the saber radiance disappeared, a gigantic demonic talisman descended from the sky. The gigantic demonic talisman contained a powerful sealing power. Could seal humans, gods, ghosts, and demons. Heavenly Demon Investiture. Xiaohan did not lack the Heavenly Wilderness demonic fruit at all now. Once his demonic power was drained, he quickly took out the Heavenly Wilderness demonic fruit and replenished his demonic power in a breath. He struck out 3 demonic techniques consecutively. Even someone as powerful as the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was flustered. Boom! The demonic talisman enveloped the Azure Dragon Monarch beast and sealed it. However, Xiaohan's demonic power was far inferior to that of the Azure Dragon Monarch beast. Moreover, the Azure Dragon Monarch beast's bloodline was more noble and there was a possibility of mutation. Therefore, the Heavenly Demon Investiture could only seal the Azure Dragon Monarch beast for a short period of 2 breaths. Alright. Let's end this. 2 breaths of time should be enough. The arch palm tattoo on his left arm absorbed the Heavenly Wilderness demonic fruit again, and the demonic power was instantly replenished. Xiaohan pulled out the apocalyptic demonic saber again and was ready to slash out. Enough. Yes, it's over. It's time to end this. Xiaohan, It's really not easy for you to force me to this extent. However, it's all over now. The ultimate profundity of the heavenly demon subduing dragon. Green dragon possession. The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast was really aggrieved. Initially, he had an ammunition warehouse after planting the Heavenly Wilderness Demonic Fruit Forest. As long as he fought near the Heavenly Wilderness Demonic Fruit Forest, he would be able to absorb the Heavenly Wilderness Demonic Fruit Forest at any time to replenish the demonic power that he had consumed. In that case, he would be invincible even if he was surrounded by a team of human heroes. However, the Heavenly Wilderness Demonic Fruit Forest had been stolen by Xiao Han. Besides, Xiao Han knew 3 demonic techniques that allowed him to attack, defend, and even escape. Most importantly, Xiao Han had stolen all the Heavenly Wilderness demonic fruits, so there was no possibility of him running out of demonic power. If the battle continued, the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast would gradually be at a disadvantage. The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast was indeed a mighty figure of the demon race. He made a prompt decision and directly drained all the demonic power in the 9,999 demonic meridians to unleash the ultimate technique. It was the ultimate technique of the heavenly demon subduing dragon, Azure Dragon Possession. His entire body transformed into a dragon. His demonic body transformed into the primordial Azure Dragon. Roar. From the center of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's eyebrows, an ancient demonic light was emitted and directly destroyed Xiao Han's Sky Demon God conferring technique. A massive Demon Emperor crystal appeared from the center of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's eyebrows. The Demon Emperor crystal was twice the size of the Qinglin Demon Emperor crystal. It was amber in color, beautiful beyond compare, flawless and without any impurities. It looked like the most gorgeous gem in the world. In the amber Demon Emperor crystal, there was a ferocious, evil and murderous Azure Dragon sealed. Every scale of the Azure Dragon was covered with demonic and evil demonic runes, and there seemed to be countless demons praying and chanting. Hong, all of a sudden, the ferocious Azure Dragon sealed in the Demon Emperor crystal was forcefully squeezed out and integrated into the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast's body. 2 merged into 1. A monstrous demonic aura was emitted from the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast's body, mixed with the roar of the primordial dragon. The sky and the sun were completely covered by the demonic aura, and the world seemed to have fallen into boundless and hopeless darkness. Roar. The Azure Dragon Monarch Beast's face began to contort, convulse, and his muscles began to roll like waves. His entire body began to convulse. At the next moment, the surface of the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast's skin was covered with dazzling green dragon scales. His body began to grow taller. 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet, 500 feet. His head had turned into a dragon's head. His entire body was covered with green scales. His tail had transformed into a dragon's tail. In an instant, the majestic aura of the primordial wilderness erupted completely and engulfed the world. Dragon roars sounded. Finally, the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast had completed his transformation and turned into an Azure Dragon. At this moment, an Azure Dragon that was 100 feet long coiled above Xiao Han's head. The Azure Dragon had a long body like a snake, the head of a qilin and the tail of a carp. It had a long beard, horns like that of a deer, 5 claws and a majestic appearance. It clearly had the terrifying power of an ancient remnant beast. An extremely dangerous aura filled the entire world. This aura was incomparably evil, and it emitted a savage and murderous aura. It was also high and mighty, representing nobility. It looked down on everyone, disregarded all life, and had a kind of dignity that stood above all other living beings. This is the Azure Dragon. The primordial Azure Dragon. It's even more terrifying than the pure-blooded Swanee and pure-blooded Heavenly Dragon that I've refined. This is the Azure Dragon Monarch Beast's innate demonic technique. It's definitely 1 to 2 levels more powerful than Demon Emperor Qinglin's apocalyptic demonic saber. Even though he was mentally prepared, Xiao Han was still shocked when he saw this insufferably arrogant Azure Dragon with his own eyes. Ah. Xiao Han, are you afraid now? Ah. Of course you're afraid. The Green Dragon spoke in the human language. It was the voice of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. His voice was muffled and sounded like thunder. Then I'll just eat you like this. Everything is over. In the face of absolute strength, a scum like you can only die. I'll devour all the secrets you have. Ah. I've already won half of this gamble. The other half depends on this. Xiaohan calmed down all of a sudden. In fact, his cerebral cortex was heating up, and his entire body was surging with an inexplicable excitement. I'm waiting for you to transform. When you completely transform into an azure dragon. The myriad beast devouring formation. Boom! The myriad beast devouring formation that Xiaohan had been preparing for a long time was suddenly unleashed. The immortal aura was ethereal, and the immortal talismans were shining brightly. Chapter 246. When the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor completed his transformation and transformed into a primordial Azure Dragon, Ho Xiaohan cast the 10,000 Beast Devouring Array. It was definitely not a coincidence or a flash of inspiration. He had been planning it for a long time. Before coming to the Withered Stone tribe, Xiaohan had been thinking about how to deal with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. Xiaohan knew very well that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor was far more powerful than the Great Sun Emperor and the Qinglin Demon Emperor at his peak. Under normal circumstances, Xiaohan would definitely die if he fought against the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. There was no way he could turn the tables. Although Xiaohan was eager to kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor to increase his combat strength, he would not be so foolish as to court death by overestimating his own abilities. Who didn't cherish their own lives? However, according to the information provided by the Demon Hero Pagoda, Xiaohan learned that the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's trump card was to transform into a primordial Azure Dragon. Within a short period of time, he would possess the power of a primordial Azure Dragon and be invincible. The 10,000 Beast Devouring technique could refine all beasts, including pure-blooded beasts, sacred beasts, and even divine beasts. In that case, would the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor be able to activate the 10,000 Beast Devouring Array to refine him after he transformed into a dragon? It was worth a try. If he failed, he would die in the hands of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. However, if he succeeded, he would have supreme combat strength that was comparable to a powerhouse at the peak of the expanded aperture realm. It would be like a pie falling from the sky and he would become fat in one bite. When the benefits reached a certain level, people would be willing to gamble with their lives. Xiaohan did not hesitate to take the risk. Now that the bet had been placed, it was time to open the cup. Hong, countless immortal characters formed the 10,000 Beast Devouring Grand Formation, emitting an ancient and mysterious aura. Immortal energy was everywhere and the mist was thick. Inside the Grand Formation there were wind, clouds, thunder, palaces in the sky, mountains of treasures, oceans, galaxies, universes, many strange phenomena. Spiritual chi and immortal chi rolled on it. The essence of the sun and moon as well as the spatial storm were all within. The 10,000 Beast Devouring Array immediately shrouded the Azure Dragon's head. What's this? The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's voice was like thunder, filled with a majestic aura. It's useless, Xiaohan. This emperor will eat you. This is your fate. In this emperor's eyes, all stubborn resistance and tricks are so childish and insignificant. As he spoke, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor also attacked. Boom! An Azure Dragon claw slashed towards Xiaohan. A powerful demonic aura and an ancient dragon roar pierced through time and space, sealing off a large part of the sky. As fast as lightning, ancient beams of light violently twisted around Xiaohan, revolving around him. The entire space was filled with the low roar of a dragon, trying to forcefully transform this part of the world into the primordial chaos. However, finally, the 10,000 Beast Devouring Array that Xiaohan cast covered the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's head, which was the dragon's head. At this moment, the Green Dragon Demon Emperor initially wanted to dodge, but he realized that he couldn't escape from the formation no matter how he tried. The 10,000 Beast Devouring formation was like a predestined fate for him, and he couldn't avoid it. As soon as he came into contact with the 10,000 Beast Devouring formation, the Green Dragon Demon Emperor had an ominous feeling that he had never felt before in his life. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor let out an uneasy howl. Almost out of instinct, the primordial Azure Dragon immediately rushed into the clouds and broke through the space crystal wall in an attempt to escape. Xiaohan, you actually have such a technique. What is this? Forget it, this time What? All of a sudden. Bang. The space seemed to shrink inwards all of a sudden, and with a loud bang, a mighty and mysterious force pressed down from the sky. It was irresistible, causing the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, who had already flown up into the sky, to be forced back to the ground. Buzz, 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 The 10,000 beast devouring formation seemed to have been deeply embedded into the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's head, brain, and soul. It was shining brightly, and the celestial civilization was flashing. No, no. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor let out a blood-curdling shriek like a pig being slaughtered. The cry of the cuckoo and the wail of the ape were heart-wrenching and tragic. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor's body began to tremble and spasm. It was obvious that he was in great pain and was restrained. He could no longer fly high into the sky. Moreover, his powerful body seemed to have been grabbed by an invisible hand that kept rubbing and ravaging it. Roar. No. Bang. 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 The huge green dragon, a symbol of nobility and glory, was now like a drunkard. It swayed and fell, rolling on the ground and crushing a large area of the ground. The mountains were flattened, and the dragon's head was inserted into the ground, shaking as if it was having a seizure. The 10,000 beast devouring technique is indeed effective on the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. I've lost control. I've completely lost control. In Xiao Han's heart, there was a kind of ecstasy that came from surviving a disaster. Xiao Han knew that he had made the right bet. He had won. He had turned the tables in a desperate situation. It was completely heaven-defying. Xiao Han dodged far away and looked at the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor who was going crazy with excitement. No. Xiao Han. Stop it now. I won't eat you anymore. I'll leave the Heavenly Dragon Empire and return to the depths of the great wilderness. No. Xiao Han. I admit defeat. I'll bow down to you. Stop it now. Stop it now. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor was suffering from purgatory, and he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. In the next moment, boom. The primordial green dragon that was hundreds of feet long turned into a ball of flickering light that kept wriggling, and finally transformed into the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's true form. At this moment, the demonic power of the 9,999 demonic meridians in the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's body had been completely drained. The radiant demonic body had also dimmed, and his body was covered with cracks. His handsome facial features had shifted. He lay on the ground and kept panting, trying to get up with his palms on the ground. However, he failed after trying several times. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor's natal demonic technique was directly broken by Xiao Han's beast devouring technique. Everything had its vanquisher. However, the beast devouring technique did not refine the primordial green dragon. That was because it was not the real primordial green dragon, but a transformation of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's natal demonic technique. A large mouthful of demonic blood spurted out of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's mouth. His demonic tail had already been broken. He looked extremely disheveled and his breath was weak. He was no longer as majestic as he used to be. He looked like a tiger that had landed on the plains, and a dragon that was swimming in the shallows. Cough cough. Xiao Han leisurely walked over. The wounds and cracks on his body had yet to be completely healed. His entire body was covered with cuts and bruises, and he was still coughing out blood non-stop. However, the fire of life in his eyes was burning brighter and brighter, showing no signs of extinguishing. Moreover, his left arm was flashing with demonic aura and demonic radiance. Green Dragon Demon Emperor, your demonic power has been exhausted, and you're seriously injured. You're going to die soon. How does it feel? Now that you've lost the supply of heavenly wilderness demonic fruit forest, you have nowhere to run, and only death awaits you. I can't believe that your natal demonic technique, a domineering trump card, is actually restrained by my cultivation technique. A high-level demon emperor has actually become my Xiao Han's prisoner. Xiao Han laughed maniacally and proudly. Now, the life and death of a high-level demon emperor that might have mutated was in Xiao Han's hands, causing him to feel extremely subtle and indescribable joy. Moreover, Xiao Han was not complacent because he was a villain. It was due to Xiao Han's great wisdom and courage, as well as his determination to fight for his life. It was definitely not due to luck. No. Xiao Han, you can't kill me? The Green Dragon Demon Emperor looked at Xiao Han in horror. His demonic eyes were filled with hostility and ferocity. He looked like a ferocious beast that was on the verge of death, but there was more fear and despair in his eyes. All right, Xiao Han, if you let me go now, I'll pay the ransom. Xiao Han, that senior demon hero Li Fanming once framed you, causing you to fall into the hands of Tsang and almost die in the stomach of a pure-blooded Swanni. You must hate Li Fanming, right? How about this, I'll kill Li Fanming for you and avenge you. What do you think? Also, I can destroy the Heavenly Dragon Empire and swallow the whole Tsang clan. Shut up. You're a demon and I'm a human. Moreover, I'm a demon hero. It's only right and proper for me to kill you. What a joke, a demon actually wants to negotiate with me. Ah, how ironic. As for Li Fanming, I'll naturally kill him myself. Then Green Dragon Demon Emperor, your life will end now. Xiao Han walked towards the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor could feel Xiao Han's determination to kill him. His eyes were filled with ferocity as he roared. I'm a noble among the demons and I'm protected by the demon god. I'm only one demon meridian away from mutating. I can't die in the hands of a puny human like you. Fate won't arrange it this way. This is ridiculous. Roar. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor roared and squeezed out all his remaining demonic power. His demonic body soared into the sky, trying to escape. Green Dragon Demon Emperor, your fate has come to an end. You can't escape anymore. Xiao Han slapped the demon god's palm with his left hand. The power was like a dragon that pierced through the sky. Boom. He slapped the Green Dragon Demon Emperor who was flying into the sky down. No. I'm going to mutate. How can I die? Demon god above. May your glory protect your people. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor bawled and barked incessantly. Die in my hands. Become a stepping stone for me to rise. Xiao Han struck out with the demonic monarch palm on his left arm again. The demonic meridian was filled with demonic force and thunderbolts rumbled in the air, tearing apart everything in its path. His left palm struck the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body continuously. Although the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's body was impregnable, it still couldn't withstand Xiao Han's violent beating. Dense cracks appeared on his body, and it was a ghastly sight. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor lay on the ground and kept howling and struggling. Suddenly, Xiao Han stepped on half of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's demonic body into the ground. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor's body trembled and broke into pieces. A huge Demon Emperor crystal came out from his eyebrows. Xiao Han grabbed the Demon Emperor crystal with his backhand. The Demon Emperor died just like that. He was beaten to death by Xiao Han. I finally obtained the Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal that I've been dreaming of. It can improve my combat strength. Xiao Han licked his lips. Chapter 247. The 10,000 Beast Devouring Sutra happened to be the perfect counter to the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's demonic technique. It allowed Xiao Han to complete an impossible task. He successfully hunted the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. With the death of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, the mission panel in Xiao Han's Inxia token began to tremble. Auspicious clouds and auspicious chi flashed and a notification was triggered. The mission to kill the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor had been completed by Xiao Han alone. Now Xiao Han could return to the Inxia Pagoda to receive 10,000 contribution points. However, Xiao Han was not in a hurry to return to the Inxia Pagoda. He held the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal in his hand. The amber-colored Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal was clear and flawless, like the most beautiful gem in the world. It was a priceless treasure that was hard to get even with money. In the Demon Emperor crystal, there was a primordial azure dragon with a horn on its head, emitting a terrifying sense of danger and primordial aura. There were also densely packed demon runes flickering, and one could vaguely hear the sound of demonic singing. The tattoo on the palm of the demon, the arch on his left arm, throbbed with greed and desire, wanting to devour the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal directly. I'll find a place to hide and recuperate. I'll also refine the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal and the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's corpse at the same time. Let's see how many benefits I've gained now. I wonder how strong my combat strength will be after this seclusion. I'm really looking forward to it. Although he had killed the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, Xiao Han had also paid a terrible price. His body was covered with terrifying cracks, and the heat flow of the indestructible golden body could not completely repair it for a while. He needed to rest. If Xiao Han got up and returned to the Inxia Pagoda now, it would be really dangerous. Not to mention encountering Li Fanming, even Zhou Chuan and Ye Sainer, who were at the expanding acupoint realm, could kill Xiao Han. The aftermath of the true qi could shatter Xiao Han's injured body. After the fortuitous encounter, I have to be even more cautious. I can't make any mistakes. I have to tread on thin ice. If I'm killed at this time, I'll be a fool. After thinking about it, Xiao Han directly activated the demonic monarch palm on his left arm and dug a pit that was dozens of feet deep. He brought the Azure Dragon demonic emperor's corpse and went underground. He then activated his genuine qi to move the scorched earth mountains over and filled the deep pit. He then poured all the gravel and soil on the ground into the pit and filled it with genuine qi so that ordinary people would not be able to see any traces of it. Moreover, after entering underground, Xiao Han used the spirit turtle's true qi to seal up his eyes, ears, mouth, nose and tongue, entering a profound state of suspended animation. Not a single aura leaked out. Even his body temperature was sealed up perfectly. The demon qi from the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor corpse was also trapped by the spirit turtle's true qi. Underground. There was dead silence. It was no different from a tomb. Xiao Han absorbed the benefits of this fortuitous encounter as much as he could. First of all, Xiao Han was going to embed the Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal perfectly into the palm of the demon the arch left arm to learn the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's natal demonic technique. However, something strange happened. Clang, the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal was directly absorbed by the demonic monarch palm and was about to be inserted into a notch on the demonic monarch palm. However, as soon as it was inserted, it was bounced out. Huh. Xiao Han was stunned. What's going on? I've obtained the demonic emperor crystal 3 times in the past. It was naturally inserted into the demonic monarch palm and completely refined for my use. But this time? Xiao Han did not believe it. It was impossible that the demonic monarch palm could not refine a demonic emperor crystal. Try again. Whoosh! The Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal was absorbed again and integrated into a notch on the demonic monarch palm. However, as soon as it was inserted, it was bounced out again. This is strange. Xiao Han was puzzled. However, he did not give up. He tried again and again but failed again and again. After an hour, Xiao Han finally understood the reason for his failure. The reason why the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal could not be inserted into the demonic monarch palm and could not be refined is not because the demonic monarch palm rejects this demonic emperor crystal, but because my demonic meridians in the demonic monarch palm are not awakened enough. That's right. The quality of the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal is much higher than the North Mystic Demonic Emperor crystal and Qing Lin Demonic Emperor crystal. If they were to fight, even if the North Mystic Demonic Emperor crystal and Qing Lin Demonic Emperor crystal teamed up, they would not be able to defeat the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal. Now that my demonic meridians have awakened in my demonic monarch palm, it's still not enough to refine the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal. Xiao Han played with the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal for a while and a lot of enlightenment flashed through his mind. In order to activate the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal's ultimate skill, the Azure Dragon Possession, I'll need to absorb all the demonic energy contained in the 90,000 demonic meridians. In other words, in order to perfectly embed this Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal into the demonic monarch palm and refine it, I'll have to awaken at least 90,000 demonic meridians in the demonic monarch palm. I understand now. I completely understand now. Xiao Han smiled and temporarily put the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor crystal away. Alright, let's refine this Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor corpse first and see if I can awaken 90,000 demonic meridians. With a thought, the demonic monarch palm tattoo on the demonic monarch palm on Xiao Han's left arm was triggered and shot into the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor corpse, causing it to break down and turn into thousands of bright and beautiful rays of demonic light that flowed into the demonic monarch palm on Xiao Han's left arm. The demonic meridians kept awakening. The Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor's bloodline was indeed noble, at least one level higher than that of Qing Lin Demonic Emperor. It was indeed worthy of being a high-level demonic emperor that had the chance to mutate. Moreover, awakening 9,999 demonic meridians was no trivial matter. Therefore, the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor corpse contained the essence of the demonic clan, which was extremely rich and pure. After absorbing it, the demonic monarch palm tattoo on Xiao Han's left arm would naturally awaken the demonic meridians. The awakening was unstoppable. It would never weaken. Moreover, while refining the Azure Dragon Demonic Emperor corpse, the heat from the indestructible golden body was constantly nourishing Xiao Han's injured body, allowing him to recover bit by bit. Yaoxia region. Yaoxia Pagoda. Yaoxia Pagoda. It was a comfortable resting area with a comfortable environment. It was an elegantly decorated private room filled with green potted plants. It was just right for the occasion. The air was filled with a delicate fragrance that could melt one's soul. On the edge of the bed sat a man who looked to be 27 or 28 years old. He was gentle and his eyes contained the majesty of a deity. His true chi was restrained, but his body was rolling with the dazzling luster of pearls and jade. He was the king of the world. It was Li Fanming. He was a big shot ranked C on the Yaoxia leaderboard. He was a giant throughout the ages. At this moment, Li Fanming was naked and sitting on the edge of the bed with his legs slightly spread. Between his thighs, a beautiful girl was crouching. Her long, silky, dark green hair was trembling non-stop. She raised her head from time to time and stared at Li Fanming with her big, watery and charming eyes before lowering her head. She was young and beautiful, and her eyes were full of spirit. She was truly a peerless beauty. The entire private room was filled with the muddy sound of walking on a country road in boots on a rainy day. Phew! Li Fanming let out a long sigh of relief and a satisfied expression appeared on his face. He was very satisfied and comfortable. He couldn't help but gently brush the long hair of the stunner with his hand in a very intimate manner. This time, I traveled a long distance to the Heavenly Dragon Empire to hunt down the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. I thought I could capture him easily, but I didn't expect that. I didn't even see the shadow of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. This made me extremely annoyed and I need some gentleness to adjust my mood. Only then can I calm my emotions. Little beauty, as long as you can please me and make me relax my heartstrings and reduce my worries, I will naturally not treat you unfairly. You should know who I am, Li Fanming said softly. The frequency of the stunner's hair shaking suddenly increased. Phew! Li Fanming's body trembled slightly. He closed his eyes and the expression on his face became extremely relaxed. Immediately after, Li Fanming flipped his right hand and a Yaoxia token appeared in his hand. I'll return from the Great Wilderness first, leaving you Ming Zhou Chuan and Ye Saner to continue searching for the whereabouts of the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor in the Great Wilderness. I don't know if they found any clues. I've been in a bad mood recently, so I've turned off the communication function of the Yaoxia token. Now I'll turn on the communication function to see if there are any messages from Yu Ming and the rest. However, I guess they won't be able to find the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor. I'll send them a message to return to the Yaoxia Pagoda. Li Fanming seemed to be talking to himself. With a thought, he scanned the area with his mental energy and turned on the communication function of the Yaoxia token. Suddenly he received a message from Yu Ming. Brother Li Fanming. I died so tragically. Brother Li Fanming, please avenge me. The culprit who killed me is Xiao. At the end of the message there was an extremely miserable howl. Then the voice stopped abruptly. What? Yu Ming? Yu Ming met with an accident. He was killed. Who was it? Xiao what? Could it be? Damn it. Yu Ming, what are you trying to tell me? Who is the culprit? Is it Xiao Han? That shouldn't be possible. Investigate thoroughly. I must get to the bottom of this. Yu Ming and I have cultivated together since we were young and we grew up in the same sect. Although he had an ordinary physique, our friendship made me want to avenge him. No matter who killed Yu Ming, I won't let it go. Li Fanming's expression changed suddenly and the murderous intent in his eyes surged. Even that stunningly beautiful woman was shaken away. Da Huang. Heavenly Dragon Empire. Withered Stone Tribe. Deep underground. There was no time in the underground and a dream had lasted for 1,000 years. A whole month passed in the blink of an eye. In that 1 month, Xiao Han's injured body had been completely healed by the indestructible golden body. His body was full of vitality and his skin was crystal clear without any flaws. Moreover, the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's corpse had been refined by Xiao Han. He had awakened 50,000 demon meridians. It was no small matter. As a result, there were a total of 9 demon meridians awakened on Xiao Han's left arm. The number of demon meridians had already surpassed Qing Lin Demon Emperor at his peak. In other words, if Xiao Han used up all his demon power and slashed out with the apocalyptic demon saber, its power would surpass Qing Lin Demon Emperor at his peak. Good. As expected of a high-level demon emperor that is about to mutate. It's so nourishing. I have benefited a lot from it. Moreover, I have met the requirements to refine the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's crystal. Let's refine the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's crystal and obtain its natal demonic skill. Xiao Han's lips twitched into a smile. He held the beautiful Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's crystal in his hand and flicked it lightly. A demonic light flashed. Clang. The Azure Dragon Demon Emperor's crystal was embedded into a notch on the left arm of the Demon Emperor. In an instant, strings of demon clan runes rose up and some enlightenment flowed into Xiao Han's mind. An illusory azure dragon coiled around Xiao Han, spinning non-stop. A primordial, desolate aura suddenly spread out. Great. Magnificent. Ancient. Chapter 248. Refining the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's corpse allowed Xiao Han to awaken 9 demonic meridians in his left arm. In terms of demonic power, he had already surpassed Qing Lin Demon Emperor at his peak. In other words, if Xiao Han were to encounter the Great Sun Emperor again, he wouldn't have to feel aggrieved anymore. In fact, he would even be able to suppress the Great Sun Emperor. Advancement by leaps and bounds. All of this was like a dream. However, Xiao Han soon calmed himself down and began to refine the Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal. As long as the number of awakened demon meridians on the left arm of the monarch beast's palm reached the 3, the basic condition would be met. Then refining the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor crystal would be a piece of cake. He didn't need to go through much trouble. Rays of beautiful demonic light surrounded Xiao Han's left arm. Crimson clouds burned and mist surged. Dense demonic runes flickered, accompanied by the murmurs of the primordial dragon clan. It was a spectacular sight. The Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal no longer flew out of the groove, but fused perfectly. It was inseparable from Xiao Han's demonic god left arm, becoming one with Xiao Han. Moreover, many secrets and mysteries about the Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal surged into Xiao Han's mind like a clear spring. It allowed Xiao Han to perfectly master the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's natural demonic technique. However, perhaps because Xiao Han was not a demon, his understanding of the natal demonic art contained in the Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal was different from that of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, perhaps because he was not a demon. When the Green Dragon Demon Emperor used the demonic technique, he could complete partial transformation as he pleased. For example, he could transform one hand into a green dragon claw. However, the demonic technique that Xiao Han comprehended only had one move, Green Dragon Possession. In other words, it would directly transform his entire physique into that of the primordial green dragon and transform his body into a dragon. It was impossible to carry out partial transformation. It seems that there are still some flaws in inheriting the secret technique of the demon race as a human. After all, the body structure of humans and demons are very different. Xiao Han shook his head helplessly. However, being able to learn this move, Azure Dragon Possession, is sufficient for my combat prowess to soar for a short period of time. When the Azure Dragon descends, it will sweep through the 3,000 great realms, sweeping through the sun and moon, illuminating the 9 provinces for eternity. This move, Azure Dragon Possession, drains all the demonic energy contained in the 90,000 demonic veins, turning the physical body into a 300-meter-long azure dragon. The strength of a single strike can reach 10,000 ding. Furthermore, the defense of the dragon scales is extremely monstrous, almost indestructible and indestructible. However, the duration of the transformation was only 10 breaths. After 10 breaths, the demon power and the energy of the body would be exhausted, and the person would be completely exhausted. This was the price of summoning the immemorial azure dragon. However, I have enough heavenly desolate beast fruits, almost 10,000 of them. I can carve them at any time to replenish my lost beast chi. Well, after a month of closed-door training, my injuries have healed, and the Green Dragon Demon Emperor's corpse and Green Dragon Demon Emperor crystal have been perfectly refined. It's time to go out. Suddenly, Xiao Han's stomach made a grumbling sound. His stomach was also shriveled and twitching. Xiao Han's stomach was rumbling with hunger. In the past month, Xiao Han had been in closed-door training underground and had not seen the light of day. There was no food stored in his storage ring and true acupoints. Xiao Han had not eaten a single drop of water or a single grain of rice. It was entirely because he was in a state of suspended animation, which was similar to hibernation of animals. His need for food was very low, which was why he did not starve to death. However, he was now extremely hungry and thirsty. Now, Xiao Han just wanted to eat to his heart's content. If you gave him a big luan, he would be able to roast it alive. Let's go out. Xiao Han's body moved slightly. Boom. He directly rushed into the ground. At this time, it was a sunny afternoon outside. The golden sunlight was like fine wine intoxicating people. The color of the leaves in all directions became darker. The strong fragrance of melons and fruits drifted with the wind. However, the entire withered stone tribe was dead silent and lifeless, like an uninhabited ghost town. A month ago, when Xiao Han fought with the Azure Dragon Demon Emperor, the aftermath of the battle affected the people in the tribe, causing them to flee in fear and panic. Forget it, I'll get some delicious fruits to satisfy my hunger, then leave the great wilderness and return to the Demon Hero Pagoda to receive the reward of 10,000 contribution points. Xiao Han strode out of the tribe. Along the way he passed by an orchard and picked fresh fruits. He wolfed them down to fill his stomach. This time, not only did Xiao Han forcefully complete the impossible task of killing the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, he also obtained enough heavenly wilderness demon fruits. In the future he would not be in an awkward situation where he would run out of demonic power. Most importantly, Xiao Han had awakened his demonic meridians and his demonic power had doubled. He had also learned the demonic technique of the Green Dragon Demon Emperor, which greatly increased his combat power. This trip to the Great Wilderness was a fruitful one. It was a worthwhile trip. At this moment, Xiao Han's luck seemed to have reached an extremely dense state. He had turned danger into safety, encountered fortuitous encounters and advanced bravely. As a result, his entire aura was imposing. When he walked with a majestic gait, like the sun and moon in the sky, the stars shining down and the rivers flowing on the ground. His entire body was flawless and his hair was light. He could be described as handsome and radiant. Without the seal of the spirit turtle True Qi, one could see endless demonic light surging and flickering on Xiao Han's left arm, emitting 4 blurry halos that represented 4 types of demonic techniques. The movement was illusory: the heavenly demon apotheosis, the apocalyptic demon blade, and the green dragon possession. In the entire world of the demons, any high-level demon emperor could only produce 1 demon emperor crystal and master 1 demonic technique as long as they did not mutate. It was definitely rare to see someone like Xiao Han, who only opened 9 demonic meridians and had 4 demon emperor crystals and mastered a demonic technique. It was unimaginable. I wonder if the sect master, senior brother Dongfang, senior brother Fang Ling, and senior brother Xiao Mingqiu will be shocked when I return to the Pure Maiden sect this time. The sect master didn't think that I would be able to complete the mission of killing the Green Dragon Demon Emperor. I wonder what the sect master's expression will be when I return. Ha ha ha. Xiao Han couldn't help but laugh. Devil Hero Domain. Devil Hero Tower. Resting area. The 38th floor. In a private room. Li Fanming had already sent the stunning beauty away. At this moment, Li Fanming stood straight like a javelin in front of the window. He was already furious. The entire private room was flashing with runes as if it could explode at any time. In Li Fanming's godlike eyes, there was a frenzied rage brewing, emitting a terrifying light that could overturn everything. To Li Fanming, Yu Ming's death was tantamount to a public provocation. That was because in the Devil Hero domain, most of the Devil Heroes knew that Yu Ming was Li Fanming's man. Yu Ming was Li Fanming's most loyal follower. Li Fanming held the Devil Hero token in his hand and was communicating with Nie Sener and Zhou Chuan, who were also in the wasteland. Nie Sener, Zhou Chuan, Yu Ming has already been murdered. Li Fanming said sternly. This. No wonder in the past few months Yu Ming's communication function has been turned off. I thought he had already returned to the Devil Hero Tower. I didn't expect him to actually. Big brother Li Fanming, did Yu Ming die in the hands of the demon race? Zhou Chuan sent a message to Li Fanming while trembling with fear, as if he was treading on thin ice. It's not the demon race. The culprit who killed Yu Ming is a human, and his surname is Xiao. He's a devil hero, right? It's impossible for an ordinary true energy realm to kill Yu Ming. After all, Yu Ming is also a devil hero of the expanded cave realm, and his ranking on the devil hero ranking is not too low. How dare this? In the devil hero domain, who doesn't know that Yu Ming is my, Li Fanming's man? I dare to say that even the ancient big shots on the devil hero ranking would not easily make a move. Killing Yu Ming would more or less give me, Li Fanming, some face. The one with the surname Xiao. Zhou Chuan pondered for a few breaths. Big brother Li Fanming, among the devil heroes that I know or have heard of, there aren't many with the surname Xiao that have the strength to kill Yu Ming, at least within the ranking. Right? Could it be Cloud Sect's Xiao Mingqiu? I heard that Xiao Han, that fellow, is also a disciple of Cloud Sect. Could it be that Xiao Han sent some information to Xiao Mingqiu before he died? I heard that Xiao Mingqiu also roams around the wasteland all year round. Xiao Mingqiu is an ancient big shot, he can instantly kill Yu Ming. Xiao Mingqiu? The possibility of this person is not high. In recent years, this person has been in a state of seclusion, and his communication function has been turned off. With his temperament, it's not very likely for him to come to Heavenly Dragon Empire's territory just to kill Yu Ming. Li Fanming muttered. Xiao Han? It's also impossible for Xiao Han. He had long died in Heavenly Dragon Empire's totem habitat and was eaten by pure-blooded Swanni and pure-blooded Sky Dragon. Not even his bones were left. At this time, Nye Sainer's voice rang and he also sent back a message. His tone was very anxious. He was flustered and exasperated. Bad news. Bad news. Big brother Li Fanming. A few months ago, Xiao Han actually ran out from Heavenly Dragon Empire's totem habitat, and even killed pure-blooded Swanni and pure-blooded Sky Dragon, wreaked havoc in Heavenly Dragon Empire's Imperial City, killed countless people, and bathed the Imperial City in blood. This brat actually did not die. And he must have had some fortuitous encounter. He must have had a fortuitous encounter from pure-blooded Swanni and pure-blooded Sky Dragon. Could it be Xiao Han? Could it be that the one who killed Yu Ming is Xiao Han? Zhou Chuan blurted out. Xiao Han. Li Fanming was enraged and his voice was like the roar of the mountains rumbling, and the entire private room started shaking. Could it be this brat? Zhou Chuan. Nye Sainer. All of you listen up, gather all the devil heroes nearby and investigate. Investigate thoroughly. We must definitely get to the bottom of this. If this brat Xiao Han is still in the wasteland, we must find him even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground. If he really killed Yu Ming, then he will not be able to escape death. Even the Pure Rain sect cannot protect him. Killing a devil hero on the devil hero ranking can be a big or small matter. Once the higher-ups ask, Xiao Han will be sentenced to death. All of you listen up, right now I Li Fanming will personally offer a reward of 200,000 contribution points to capture Xiao Han. Zhou Chuan Nye Sainer, send out my message through the devil hero token. Search for the devil heroes in the wasteland and put up this bounty. As long as Xiao Han is still in the wasteland, he will not be able to escape. 200,000 contribution points is enough to make countless devil heroes scramble for it. Alright brother Li Fanming, we understand what you mean. Don't worry, we will immediately contact the nearby devil heroes. 200,000 contribution points, maybe even the ancient devil heroes will not be able to resist the temptation to capture Xiao Han. To the ancient devil heroes, this is as easy as lifting a finger. I will also seize the time to go to the wasteland personally. Xiao Han. You cannot escape. If I find out that you plotted against Yu Ming, I will crush your bones and scatter your ashes. Night. Xiao Han hunted a 3-zhanglong sika deer and barbecued it at the foot of a barren mountain. Xiao Han hummed a little tune, feeling very happy. Suddenly, achoo, Xiao Han sneezed. He mumbled. Could it be that someone is talking bad about me behind my back? Chapter 249. At night in the great wilderness, the stars were bright, and the moon was ethereal. It was exceptionally enchanting, like a charming and affectionate young woman. Xiao Han started a bonfire and roasted a 3-zhanglong sika deer, which he then ate heartily. After eating and drinking, Xiao Han lay on the lawn and stared at the deep and beautiful night sky. Then Xiao Han took out the Yinxia token and turned on the messaging function. He also received some messages. Among them, Xiao Mingqiu, who was also in the great wilderness, sent a message to Xiao Han. Junior brother Xiao Han, I have left the ancient village and went to the depths of the great wilderness with a few old friends. Are you safe in the Heavenly Dragon Empire? Kill the Green Dragon Demon Emperor if you can. If you can't, return to the Cloud sect immediately. Don't be greedy. Remember. Eldest senior brother has entered the depths of the great wilderness? That is an extremely dangerous place. It is said that there are many mutated demon emperors there. Xiao Han's heart sank. Soon he sent a message to Xiao Mingqiu. Eldest senior brother, be careful. However, Xiao Mingqiu had already turned off the messaging function, so he could not receive Xiao Han's message immediately. In addition to Xiao Mingqiu, Wu ***, Dongfang Qin, Fang Ling, Mo Qingtong, Xiao Yunrong, and the others also left messages for Xiao Han. Don't worry everyone. I'm safe and sound. I will leave the great wilderness immediately. Xiao Han reported that he was safe. Finally, Xiao Han turned off the messaging function. He did not want the chivalrous knights around him to know his whereabouts through the chivalrous knight token's ability to locate the nearby chivalrous knights. This was also the experience that Xiao Mingqiu taught Xiao Han as an experienced demon hero. Now, I wish I could grow a pair of wings and reach the demon hero tower in an instant. 1 million contribution points, I will have fun. Xiao Han was eager to return home. The next day, when the first rays of dawn appeared, Xiao Han jumped up from the lawn and stretched his body. Let's go. Let's hurry and leave the great wilderness as soon as possible. Whoosh, 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 thousands of rays of light and treasured light shot out from Xiao Han's body. Immediately, they turned into a spirit turtle that shook its head and tail with an ancient aura. Go. Xiao Han leapt onto the turtle shell, and with a thought, the spirit turtle had already turned into a streak of light, directly flying out of the great wilderness like a comet. Xiao Han sat cross-legged on the turtle shell, feeling very happy. With the speed of the spirit turtle, it'll take us a few days at most to fly out of the great desolation weave. Xiao Han also had an idea. After flying for a few hours, suddenly Xiao Han saw a golden rainbow flash in front of him. It was so bright that it pierced through the sky. A huge wave of true qi fluctuated, producing a whistling sound. A tangible and tangible pressure rushed towards Xiao Han like a mountain. Oh! Xiao Han thought for a bit and stopped his genuine qi. The spirit turtle seemed to be frozen in the air and did not move an inch. Such a blatant and oppressive aura was, in fact, tantamount to a direct slap to the face and provocation. This caused Xiao Han to feel slightly uncomfortable in his heart. However, Xiao Han's battle strength was not the same as before. He had a strong foundation and backing. Not only did he not panic, but he also calmed down and looked forward with interest. At this moment, the golden rainbow dispersed and a middle-aged man in a golden robe walked out. He had the air of an immortal, and his body was full of treasure light. His body was like an abyss and Xiao Han could not see how deep it was. His eyes were like gemstones, emitting a bright and clear light. This person was empty-handed and did not carry any weapons. However, he had a deep and dignified aura, as if he was in control of the universe. Xiao Han. The middle-aged man's expression was meticulous as he indifferently said to Xiao Han. Huh. Xiao Han was startled and murmured. Yes, I am Xiao Han. However, I don't seem to know you. Not only do I not know you, I've never even seen you before. Who are you? Why are you blocking my way and releasing your aura? What do you want? Good, very good. The golden-robed middle-aged man repeatedly applauded. A strange light flashed in his eyes as he looked at Xiao Han. Suddenly, his expression became as sharp as a messenger from the heavens. He looked deeply at Xiao Han as he announced his name. His voice was indifferent, without the slightest emotion. Jin Shanxiong, ranked 2778 on the Monster Hero ranking. After a pause, his voice turned low and a faint smile flashed across his face. I want to buy a divine weapon found in the ancient ruins, the Heavenly Halberd. I still need 180,000 contribution points. Good, very good. Li Fanming is really generous. To deal with such a rookie, he actually offered 200,000 contribution points as a reward. He's really rich. Huh? Xiao Han licked his lips. Boom! In the western horizon, swoosh 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 swoosh, a total of 4 sword qi from 1,000 miles away. In an instant the sky and the earth were all filled with Gengjin qi. In the sword qi there were 4 youths strolling out, all of them arrogant, eyes full of killing determination. In the pupils, very strong sword will, all of them. From the fluctuation of their breath, they should be from the same sect. These 4 people, as soon as they arrived, looked at Xiao Han again and again, then looked at each other and nodded. Luo Huanshan, ranked 2999 on the Monster Hero ranking. Su Wen, ranked 3000 on the Monster Hero ranking. Lian Xiao, ranked 3001 on the Monster Hero ranking. Zhu Sihai, ranked 3002 on the Monster Hero ranking. The 4 young men also announced their names and their rankings on the Monster Hero ranking. The 4 heroes of Luyan Mountain? When the 4 of them work together they can form a sword formation. They once fought Zhou Donglong, who is ranked 2500 on the Monster Hero ranking, for a day and a night without a clear winner. Jin Shanxiong was slightly surprised. You guys are here too? Brother Jin, nice to meet you. The 4 of us were doing a mission nearby and received this bounty. We just wanted to have some fun. However, since we found Xiao Han, it's also a stroke of luck. 200,000 contribution points isn't a lot, but it's not a small amount either. Ha ha ha, I'm so poor recently. Why don't you give these 200,000 contribution points to me? How about it? Let's make a deal. Take pity on me, a poor man. A lazy voice rang out. Then a slovenly middle-aged man walked out from the eastern horizon. He yawned repeatedly, and his jet-black eyes revealed an unrestrained and carefree feeling. He looked at Xiao Han, nodded and then shook his head. Young man Xiao Han, the the biggest dark horse in this year's Monster Hero Selection Contest. His talent is outstanding among the young people in the world. Good, very good. However, it seems that he offended someone he shouldn't have offended. What a pity. Alright, I'm Yang Hong, ranked 2700 on the Monster Hero ranking. Ahem, I'm just a small character, not worth mentioning, not worth mentioning. Xiaohan, my young friend, come with me. We'll go back to the Monster Hero Tower together. Don't worry, I won't make things difficult for you. The sloppy middle-aged man Yang Hong said to Xiaohan with a smile. Ah, brother Yang, first come, first served. It's unreasonable for you to take Xiaohan away like this. Ha ha ha. Jin Shanxiong laughed loudly as if there was no one else around. Boom. Suddenly, a turbulent air wave exploded in the sky, blowing up countless white clouds, and the weather changed. A middle-aged man in white tore apart the clouds with his hands and walked out with a majestic gait. His face was long and narrow, and his eyes were filled with hostility. He had the temperament of a battle-hardened veteran. He grabbed a ball of air with his right hand and directly squeezed it until it exploded. His right palm was more than twice the size of an ordinary person. He actually had 7 fingers, and each finger seemed to be surrounded by lightning. What? Lei Qizhi, ranked 2487th on the Monster Hero ranking. I didn't expect you to come too? Jin Shanxiong and Yang Hong exclaimed at the same time. Judging from their appearance, it was obvious that they were very afraid of this Lei Qizhi. The 4 sword cultivators exchanged glances with each other. Oh, it's just a coincidence, Lei Qizhi said sinisterly. Then he used his eyes to constantly sweep across Xiaohan's face. Young Xiaohan, I've seen your matches. You're indeed charming for a while, but you're still too young. In front of us, you can't even withstand a single blow. Now, don't say anything and don't argue. Obediently surrender. That's the best. I'll also leave you with some dignity. I'll only bring you back to the Monster Hero Tower. I won't ask about other matters, and I won't deal with you. I won't attack you. Of course, if you don't know what's good for you, then you'll have to suffer some physical pain. The way Lei Qizhi looked at Xiaohan was as if he was looking at his prey. It was extremely disdainful. Ah, no way? Xiaohan was happy and fearless. He actually laughed out loud. I don't understand. We're all monster heroes. We're like brothers and communicate with each other. If we encounter a big demon that's hard to deal with, we'll form a team to hunt it down and help each other. Now that you've surrounded me, I wonder what's the matter? Oh? Xiaohan, you're just a rookie who has just become a monster hero. What qualifications do you have to talk about forming a team with us? Talking about equality? Talking about brothers and sisters? Jin Shanxiong said in a serious tone. Moreover, it's not that we want to make things difficult for you. It's that an ancient giant has issued a bounty to capture you and bring you back to the Monster Hero Tower to await punishment. Xiaohan, I've heard that you're a cunning and quick-witted person. However, in front of us, you'd better keep it to yourself. An ancient giant wants to capture me? When Xiaohan heard this, he finally realized what was going on. It seemed like it was Li Fanming's group that was causing trouble. Could it be that I killed Yu Ming and was discovered by Li Fanming? But that shouldn't be the case. When I killed Yu Ming and the other monster heroes, I didn't leave behind any flaws or traces. Ah, it's Li Fanming who wants to capture me, right? Yes, Li Fanming is ranked within the top 1000 of the monster hero ranking list. He has a high position and power. I, Xiaohan, am just a rookie. But even so, Li Fanming doesn't have any reason to capture me for no reason, right? He's not an ancient giant, nor is he one of the higher-ups of the Monster Hero Tower. Xiaohan, don't try to argue. Those who do evil will bring about their own destruction. You have the ambition of a wolf. How dare you murder Yu Ming? Do you know your crime? Xiaohan, it's a big crime to murder a monster hero ranked within the top 5000 of the Monster Hero ranking list. Even your 9 generations will be wiped out. Your sect won't be able to protect you. Now you're a sinner. We'll take you back and wait for your punishment. If you resist, we'll kill you on the spot. 2 fierce and furious voices rang out. Then Niesener and Zhou Chuan came together. Xiaohan smiled awkwardly. Niesener Zhou Chuan? Hehe, you actually want to frame me, Xiaohan, with a groundless crime? That day in the imperial city of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, you sold me to Tsang Yun. Isn't that a crime? As for me, I want to return to the Monster Hero Tower immediately. However, I'm not going to be taken back by you. I want to go back in a dignified manner. You said that I killed Yu Ming? Words don't have any proof. Show me the evidence. If there's no evidence, Everything is nonsense. All of you get out of here. If you continue to talk nonsense, I'll beat you to death. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.